field, similar to throw out the ceremonial first pitch, and then they just picked a fan out of the stands, which I think is a real nice touch.
A great way to show class in what he's doing, because this gets everybody involved and gets everybody excited that it's not his grandchildren throwing out the first ball, it's a fan of the game.
We are almost set for baseball here in Arizona, the Diamondbacks and the Rockies. The manager of the Arizona. This is the swimming pool out in right center field. Now, if you choose, you can come out and for $4,000, you can rent the swimming pool for you and 33 of your friends and come out and have a little swim. A little chilly to be swimming tonight, though.
I think I'd be in the hot tub. I'd pass the pool tonight and take the heat. I know earlier this afternoon, when the ceiling was open, then there was steam coming off that hot tub. So you know what, though, you think about it, you got 40,000 people you're swimming in front of.
That's true. You've got to have a lot of confidence to do that.
Better look good.
You know, in an expansion year, anytime you talk about that, you also talk about a lot of firsts. And I wonder who will be the first to put a ball into that swimming pool to make the biggest. Player of the week, it would be Dante Bichette, 8 home runs in the last 9 games. He'll be followed by Vinny Castillo, moves up 1 spot. Then the rookie, Todd Helton, followed by Nafi Perez. Kurt Manwaring, who had a very good spring, you see hitting .353. And then Darryl Kyle, our Eagle Hardware and Garden Rockies starting lineup. The defense for the Arizona Diamondbacks, Brady in left field, White, 7 gold gloves for Devon White. So as you can tell, it's quite an expansion franchise Arizona has developed. Kareem Garcia from the Dodgers in right, Williams and Bell, a lot of experienced veterans on the left side, Diaz and Lee, rookies on the right side, George Fabry on the plate, and again our AutoZone starting pitcher is Andy Bennis. George, what can you tell us about him?
Gonna throw slider, fastball for strikes, mix in a changeup occasionally, but we'll go to the fastball. We'll keep the ball away from a right-handed hitter and go away from the left-handed hitter. He's here in Arizona because of a snafu. He signed a contract for $30 million. It was too late, according to baseball rules, at 12:30 a.m. And so now he comes back and he's an Arizona Diamondback, and they're happy to have him because they've got a bulldog, which is something that's, I think, Dave, is very unusual for an expansion ball club to have this quality of a pitcher on the mound opening day.
He was in Costa Rica on an evangelical free mission trip when he found out that he had been signed by the Arizona Diamondbacks. And the first man to face him will be Mike Lansing of the Colorado Rockies. 8:22, the first pitch, and the flash bulbs go off here at Bank One Ballpark. They'll throw that one out, and it is ruled a ball.
I don't know how Jim Quick saw the pitch.
With the flash bulbs.
With the flash bulbs going everywhere.
Followed by the fireworks. Well, the fireworks have already begun here at the Bob. Fastball, broken bat, base hit for Lansing. So a good start for the Rockies in '98. Mike Lansing with a lead single.
He's hit second for most of his career, but comes here to lead off and does a good job on opening day. Keeps his hands back with a fastball, drives it back up the middle on a fastball from Bennis that will ride in a little bit when it's up in the strike zone.
That'll bring up Ellis Burks, and with the exception of a pinch hitting appearance last Sunday, Ellis missed the final 7 games of spring training with a tight right hamstring. But he says he is ready to go and ready to start the season in center field. Burks, of course, trying to rebound from a season that saw him spend some time on the disabled list. As Jim Quick motioning up to the press box, I think they're trying to turn some lights off that seem to be bothering some of the fielders. I guess they were still on the air on one of the other broadcasts, and the light's still on, so they'll get all those off and we'll be set to resume once again. Interestingly, 30 cameras on hand for this game, several different broadcasts. You know, in spring training there was Buckgate when the Rockies were so concerned that the Diamondbacks were spying on them. Glenn Goldman, a videographer for the Diamondbacks, twice was sent to spring training at High Corbett and was caught. So all the cameras here tonight have permission to be here. I'm starting to wonder if perhaps There might be some sort of a submarine in that swimming pool with a periscope. You get a little paranoid coming here.
Well, as a manager you do, because you start working the last week or week and a half of the season in spring.
Check swing out of play.
To start getting your signs down that you're going to use every day so the players know what's going on. Your catcher starts working with your pitchers on first, second, and third signs. So there's a lot that goes into the game that you work on those last couple of weeks.
Burks, you saw his numbers from last year. Of course, he would love to repeat what he did in 1996 when he had an MVP type season. A chopper to Bell, the shortstop. His only play, first base. He throws out Burks. Lansing moves to second. So Burks advances the runner, and he'll be at second, Lansing will, for Larry Walker. Well, again, what more can you say as you look at these numbers? And he was up over 400 until mid-July last year, and he kept saying to everyone, I'm not going to hit 400. I'm not. A career 285 hitter until last year, but a real breakthrough season for Walk. Lansing with a lead at second, and now it looks like Fabregas and Bennis a little bit mixed up on the signs.
Again,
interestingly, that Larry Walker, along with Mike Lansing in '93, both members of the Montreal Expos, along with John Vanderwall, and they all rode to the ballpark at Mile High Stadium together on that April morning in 1993. Fastball up and in, ball one to Walker.
What you try to do if you're pitching to Larry Walker is to make sure you get the ball in on his hands. You don't want him to extend those arms. That's why he hits with the open stance.
Hits this one hard, but right at Diaz, the second baseman. He'll throw out Walker as Lansing moves to third. That'll bring up Dante Bichette, and as Lou from Littleton would say, who's tougher than Dante right now?
I'll tell you what, I would not want to face him. The way he's seeing the ball, it's probably got to look like a beach ball coming to home plate, because and not only that, he's hitting the ball hard. Now, even if it's not going out of the ballpark, it's hard line drives right at someone.
Hit 500 in the final 9 games with 8 home runs. 8 home runs in 9 games. 3-1. Included in that stretch, Dante hit for the cycle in 1 game. The only Rocky to ever do that, either in spring training or the regular season.
And I think, too, if they look at this lineup, they go, okay, Dante's the hottest hitter they got in the lineup. Let's skip him over and go to Vinny Castilla.
Good luck.
Wrong. bad choice.
It's really tough to pitch around this lineup, isn't it? Dante on a pitch inside. Gets some wood on it, but fouls it off at the plate, and it's a ball and a strike. So Bichette batting cleanup for the first time on opening day. He's hit third a few times. He's hit fifth once, but this is the first time for him to open in a Rockies uniform hitting cleanup. It is his 6th straight opening day start, though. Inside, 2-1.
That's something a little bit unusual for Bichette and Bennis, because he's looking for the ball away from Andy Bennis, because that's where he likes to work. The fastball away, the slider away to the right-hander. That ball he ran inside. Let's see if he goes outside this time. If he does, don't be surprised if Dante takes this ball to right center.
Breaking ball on the ground. Bell gobbles it up and throws out Bichette. So the lead single produces nothing for the Rockies. White, not your prototypical leadoff batter. He doesn't have an exceptionally great on-base percentage, and a great curveball from Kyle has him in a hole. 0-2. Another curveball. White lays off our AutoZone starting pitcher, Darryl Kyle.
19-7 record last year. As we've talked, he's a bulldog. He's going to go to the hill. He's going to throw strikes. He's going to try to get a lot of strikeouts, which he has in his career, and he's not going to walk very many.
With 7+ innings is an average in his starts, and he gets Devon White to chase that nasty curveball, the best in the game.
This ball, what he does so well with his breaking ball is he can change speeds with it. Normally very hard at about 80, 81 miles an hour. The normal curveball, 67 to 75 miles an hour. It is a tough pitch to hit, and it is biting away from you.
Amazingly, Darryl Kyle was left-handed until the age of 10. Fastball too low to Jay Bell. That's when he was just going to go out and play some catch with some neighborhood friends. The only glove he could find was on the right hand, on the left hand, so he had to start throwing right-handed. Boy, how good could he have been if he had stayed the other way? Nafee in the hole. That strong arm throws out Jay Bell. So Perez flashes a little leather.
The poise that Perez shows as a shortstop is phenomenal. Look at the ease he takes. Goes back into the hole, gets his feet under him. Looks like he just flips the ball over to first base. A tremendous arm.
Does it rival Sean Dunstan's arm? I mean, he's always been considered as having one of the biggest guns from shortstop, now a second baseman with Cleveland, but Perez, good range, and he just showcased the arm.
Well, I think it's right there with it. I like his accuracy more than Sean Dunstan.
Travis Lee, his first at bat in the big leagues, and it's a base hit. So Travis Lee, who spent just 1 year in the minor leagues, a big bonus baby, and he pays dividends here in his first at bat.
And this is a feel-out period for Darryl Kyle against the younger players. He doesn't know them, so he comes with the fastball with 2 outs. You don't want to fall behind in the count. Gets this ball up in the strike zone, and Lee just takes it right back up the middle, a sign of a good hitter.
And that'll bring up Matt Williams, dangerous hitter. Williams playing now in his adopted hometown of Phoenix, Arizona. Of course, you'll know that last year he played for the Cleveland Indians and went to the World Series with Cleveland. Wanted to be closer to his kids after a divorce that kind of separated the family. Williams was thinking of retiring from baseball. He said he sat up all night after Game 7 of last year's World Series, met with his agent, and said, is there some way we can try to work a trade between Cleveland and Arizona? Both teams cooperated. Travis Fryman sent from the Diamondbacks to the Indians so Matt Williams could be rejoined by his family. And he said it was really a life decision, not a baseball decision. He loved his time in Cleveland, but he didn't want to be separated from his 3 kids.
Well, as you get longer into your career, you'll find that with a lot of players. They want to settle down, be close to their family, and that's exactly what happened. Something I've never seen happen in the game of baseball. The 2 clubs got together to make this player happy. It tells you the respect he carries through baseball.
No question about it. The 0-2 pitch is waved at and fouled up on the screen. So it's still 0-2 to Matt Williams. And Darryl Kyle, I guess the early reviews on him are pretty special. Just the single by Travis Lee so far. He struck out Devon White to lead off the game for the Diamondbacks. Kyle kept saying, hey, look, don't judge me by my spring training numbers, and I guess so far Don Baylor would have to agree.
Well, you could see the fire and the competitiveness. I know when I walked in the locker room tonight, you could just tell a different look in his face.
Absolutely. Curveball, it almost eludes Manwaring, but he's one of the best in the business at blocking the ball behind the plate.
And how many times this spring did we see an 0-2, 1-2 count from Darryl Kyle and he give up the base hit? There, the ball's far away in the strike zone, trying to get Williams to make a bite. 5 curveballs, no fastballs at this point.
You know, they talk about it a lot in the National Football League, George, how once you get through the exhibition portion of the schedule, the game's a little bit quicker. I think it's the same in baseball. All of a sudden, a couple of more miles per hour on the fastball, a little better break on the breaking balls. And the good hitters, the veterans, will adjust to that, and the good pitchers will do the same.
Well, if you don't adjust, you'll be back where they have single-deck stadiums within a month.
The 1-2 pitch to Williams, a breaking ball, again way outside. Williams doesn't bite, and the count evens up at 2-2. With Lee aboard at first base, 2 outs in the first, no score from the Bob. Another breaking ball that sails outside. All of a sudden, Kyle having a little more trouble locating that curveball.
Well, not so much that. He's locating outside, but he doesn't want to give in to Matt Williams and throw him a fastball because he knows he's pumped up. It's opening day. He'd rather turn around and face Brady, the rookie, who came over to Minnesota in the draft. He'd rather face him than he would Matt Williams with a fastball.
Lee will be running. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Got him looking at a beautiful curveball from Darryl Kyle. He strikes out 2 in the first, and he's helped out by his defense. Neifi Perez flashing a little leather. We go to the second with no score. Vinny Castilla can't wait for the season to get going. You saw his totals from last year, and a lead single in the second for the Rockies, similar to the way they started the first. Vinny really likes sitting now in the number 5 hole. Don Baylor very hesitant to move him up a spot because he was so consistent as the number 6 hitter.
Well, just hit 313 2 years in a row with 40 home runs and 113 RBIs. 2 identical seasons back to back. That's amazing.
That is amazing. That may be a first in baseball history. Identical numbers for Mr. Deja Vu, Vinny Castilla. Now Todd Helton. A lot of eyes on Helton this year as he replaces Galarraga at first base.
And I don't think he feels that pressure. I was going to say it's pretty interesting tonight. You got Travis Lee, a rookie at first, and then you also tonight Todd Helton, a rookie at first. There'll be comparisons between these 2 players.
No question. Going head to head for that Rookie of the Year honor. And if you're wondering, wait a minute, how can Helton be considered for the Rookie of the Year? Well, the fact that he did not have enough at-bats last season, even though he played in enough games, he didn't have enough at-bats, and so therefore he is eligible to be the Rookie of the Year in the National League. And if he is, he has a bonus clause in his contract that would call for $25,000. He falls in a hole here, though. 0-2. Good 2-strike hitter, Helton. Not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. He was telling us before the game that he knew he'd have chills just hearing his name over the public address system here as he was introduced to this crowd at Bank One Ballpark. Reaches out and pokes that one out of play. Stays alive. 0-2.
What a great sign of a good young hitter. When he takes that pitch that's away, he knows he can't hit that ball to left field and put good wood on it. He just fights it off till he gets a pitch that he can handle. May not happen in this at bat, but that's a very good sign.
Again, the 0-2 pitch. A change up from Andy Benes. It goes outside, and it's 1-2. Helton looking down at third base coach Gene Glenn to see if perhaps Vinny Castilla might run on a hit and run. Don't normally do it on a count like this, and Vinny doesn't have the kind of speed where he would be running. But Helton just wants to make sure. Pokes it again down the line, twisting foul, and again up into the seats. Helton debuted for the Rockies against the Pittsburgh Pirates at Three Rivers Stadium last August. And what did he do in his debut? Well, in his first at bat, he flied out, but then a single, a walk, and a home run.
Not a bad day.
Really. Fastball up and in. 2-2.
That's the veteran testing the rookie. I've gone away, trying to get you to pull the ball. Todd's done a nice job fighting that ball out to the left side. Now I'm going to bust him in. Andy probably would like to have had that pitch about belt high in to try to get it in, not up around the chest level, because it's more of a waist pitch.
Outside, just missed. So now the count full and a decision for Don Baylor. Do you run Vinny 3-2?
With nobody out, he probably will choose not to, but here's the pitch previously as it tails right out of the strike zone. I tell you what, you watch this kid hit, you got to get excited. He followed that ball all the way back into the plate.
Similar to Wade Boggs. There goes Vinny, 3-2, and it's fouled off. So Helton again staying alive, wasting some of Andy Benes's good pitches.
And that's the George Frazier rookie mistake. Don Baylor obviously being watched by Dave Armstrong for 2 years. Oh, let's send him and let's get things started.
An aggressive manager, Don Baylor. He likes to try to stay out of the double play. Vinny is not running there for a stolen base. He is running to put him in motion to try to stay out of that double play. There he goes again, and the 3-2 pitch is whacked up on the screen, foul and out of play.
And even if Todd Helton strikes out or pops out, the coaches will come back and they'll hear him say in a dugout, good at bat. The reason why, he's fought off a lot of pitches, and if you can get Bennis to get deep into the count all the time, use up a lot of that energy on opening day and get his pitch count high by the 5th or 6th, then you get into their bullpen.
The only one that might disagree right now is Vinny Castilla, who's winded from running 2 sprints. Vinny going again, and the pitch is poked down the line. If it's fair, it's trouble. It is fair, and it's into the corner. Vinny on the move, rounding third. They're waving him home. Brady has trouble in the corner, and Hilton with an RBI double. 0-2 the count on Helton, and the great at-bat started by fouling off a very tough Andy Bennis pitch and then resulted in that RBI double.
An 0-2 pitch that he fouls off out of the strike zone. Watch how he dives out after the ball and just fights it off up into the stands. He does this 3 other times. Then they come back out here again. They're going to try to get him out with the fastball. He uses these long arms to take this ball down the left field line and get the first RBI of the season, and here at the Bob.
Oh, the Rockies, the lead single from Vinny Castilla, and the RBI double with Vinny on the move by Todd Helton, and now Neifi Perez. Well, it's too early to say, well, what about Andres Galarraga leaving for Atlanta? But that is a good sign for Todd Helton to start his first at bat of 98 with an RBI double. Fastball too low, 2-0 now to Perez, who has shown more patience at the plate.
Well, I think that's that veteran part, but as he has played winter ball, and you gain experience, because when you go to winter ball, you face an awful lot of major league pitchers. And as you progress as a Latin player, you get to play against good pitching.
Swing and a miss by Perez, 2-1. Perez will be followed by Kurt Manwaring. Neifi Perez handed the shortstop job. He came up through the minor leagues, played every step of the way in the Rockies system, and he was just ready to go. So Walt Weiss, who was a free agent, chose to join Galarraga in Atlanta. Williams, even with a bag at third, expecting perhaps Neifi to lay a bunt down and try to get Todd Helton over to third base. Still nobody out, second inning. Pop foul and out of play. Full count to Perez. Well, Bennis scratching his head, trying to figure out a way to get the bottom portion of the Rockies order. Ball 4. So Neifi Perez with a walk to put runners at first and second. Still nobody out. And now Manwaring.
You watch the young hitters in their at-bats, David, how they follow the ball back into the strike zone. I think that's a little bit of a tribute to Clint Hurdle, because he's the hitting instructor with the Rockies, and he works hard with these young hitters.
Manwaring, last year, not a good offensive season, not by any stretch of the imagination. Look at those numbers. Just 11 extra base hits in over 300 at-bats. But in the spring, and I know hope springs eternal, but in the spring, Manwaring hit
Start over, great results in spring training.
Now, normally you would see in this situation a guy laying down a bunt, 2 on, nobody out, but not with the pitcher coming up next.
Well, it really doesn't matter how good a hitting pitcher you are. You're still not going to get caught in that situation, because you're going to allow Manwaring to swing the bat. Now with 1 out, you might see him bunt cock.
1-1 pitch, hit on the ground to Diaz. I don't know if it's hit hard enough to get to it. Isn't. And Bell thinking maybe Helton would round the bag too far at third. He didn't. Now runners at the corners as Manwaring moves the runner over. Helton to third. Neifi forced at second. Manwaring at first. Going to bring up Darryl Kyle. Now an interesting situation here for Don Baylor.
Well, do you bunt the runner over, Lansing with a base hit to start the ball games up next, or do you allow him to swing the bat? That's why we're sitting up here. We don't have to make those decisions.
We just present the options to you. He's going to let him swing, and the pitch outside for a ball. Rockies already lead 1-0. Gene Glenn hoping for some more action on the base pass. Right now he has Helton at third, Manwaring at first with 1 out. Kyle, decent hitter. Swing and a miss, though, on a fastball, and it's 1-1.
I know when I hit in the National League, I was always stepping towards the third base dugout. I didn't like anything coming at me at 90 miles an hour. Kyle stood right in and took a pretty good hack.
Foot in the bucket, huh?
Yeah, and running.
Fastball outside. So Bennis throwing a lot of pitches even to Darryl Kyle. At this rate, he isn't going to last long, and that Diamondback bullpen not strong at all.
No, it's not strong and not very proven. You don't want to get into it early.
Now Kyle to bunt, and he bunts it foul.
Well, I know that makes you nervous as a pitching coach. I know Darryl Kyle can bunt, but he really got out over that plate. And as hard as Bennis throws, you don't want to get hurt. You got to square up and get that eye level with the bat. Anything above that, you're going to take.
Already 33 pitches for Andy Bennis. Buck Showalter hoping that Bennis can get out of this jam. The 2-2 pitch to Kyle, bunting again, pops it up though. Fabregas will make the catch at home plate.
Not what you look for when you're trying to advance people, and I can tell you Darryl Kyle from his reaction's not happy. This ball's a fastball up, crouched at the knees, and he tried to slap at it a little bit versus trying to catch it with that bat and lay it down soft. As a pitcher, you want to make sure you get the bunt down. Doesn't necessarily have to be up the third baseline or up the first baseline. Just get it down enough to advance the runners.
Now Mike Lansing, a broken bat single in his first at-bat as a Rocky. And I know a lot of our friends are watching up in Wyoming. This Casper native trying to come through for the Rockies here with 2 out and runners at the corners. Breaking ball hit down to Williams. He'll throw to first, and that'll do it for the Rockies. But they get a run and a lead single from Vinny Castilla, and then the RBI double from Todd Helton. As we go to the bottom of the second,
you've got to forget about not getting the bunt down. Go back to the hill, pitch like you did in the first inning, stay ahead in the count, and work them the way he worked. I tell you what's exciting is to watch him place the breaking ball. And it's almost like throwing a fastball for him. He can go inside or outside with the ball.
Now we have time to squeeze in our trivia question brought to you by Jeep Eagle. Which long-standing record was tied on opening day 1974? I'll let you think about that one for a little while. First pitch swinging, Brent Brady, and he fouls that one out of play. Boy, every foul ball into the seats, a very valuable souvenir here on opening night. That made that guy's year, perhaps. Fastball outside, 1-1 to Brady. It is pronounced Brady, even though it's spelled B-R-E-D-E. And I'm sure the fans in left field will notice the pronunciation, and it won't be long before you'll see signs out there that say Brady's Bunch. Broken bat, pop foul, that also is going to find the seats. Well, as George told you, Brady comes over from the Minnesota Twins organization in the expansion draft. A former high school basketball player that scored 36 points in an Illinois high school title game, which was at that time a state record. He only weighed 165 pounds then. He's up to about 210 now. He was bragging about that game to some of his teammates when the Diamondbacks visited the Rockies in spring training at High Corbett Field. They have a basketball hoop there, George, at High Corbett that's 11 feet off the ground. And they challenged Brady to try to dunk on the hoop, and he did it. Broken bat into right field. Walker will have to play it on a hop. A lead single for Brady. So Brady with his first hit.
Ball gets up in the strike zone, and you don't want to let them extend their arms, and he gets that ball down and in and drives it out to right field and pulls the fastball down the line for the base hit.
Brady played 61 games for the Twins last year and played 10 games for Minnesota the year before that. So that is not his first major league hit. Now here's Kareem Garcia, a guy with all kinds of potential, coming over from the Dodgers organization. Many were surprised, George, that the Dodgers made him available in the expansion draft.
A very good player and a history within his family, as his father was a legend in the Mexican League growing up around the game, so you knew he knew how to play the game. And yes, baseball was a little bit alarmed that the Dodgers let him get out and become available for the draft.
Garcia last year spent the majority of the season in AAA. He only played 15 games for the Dodgers. Good fastball at the knees, and it's 1-1 to Kareem Garcia. Swing and a miss. Oh, was that a nice pitch? A great change from Kyle.
A very good fastball from Kyle, and it's nice and fluid. It's not a forced fastball. And the location, look at the location, down.
Down, out. That was a fastball. You're right.
Down and in the outer half of the plate.
The movement on it made it look a little bit like on that camera angle, like a changeup, but looking at it there, you can definitely tell it's a fastball. Kyle let that curveball get away.
He tried to go early with the outside half of the plate. When you do that and try a backdoor curveball, you've got to stay closed with that front half a little bit longer and try to feed it. He flew out with that front shoulder, and the ball hung out high and wide.
Brady aboard at first base. No outs in the Diamondbacks second. The Rockies lead by 1. Fastball. Did Garcia go? They say yes. Third strikeout for Kyle. Larry Poncino rung him up, the third base umpire, and Garcia goes down.
Just a good curveball from Darryl Kyle, and fooled him as he was ahead in the count and threw the fastball for strike 2, then comes back with the curveball. Just a good pitch.
Kyle, 205 strikeouts last year and 255 in 2/3 innings. Now George Fabregas. Brady, he ventured off the bag almost too far. Manwaring couldn't quite pick it up in time to gun him out at first.
Nice block by Kurt Manwaring on a curveball that's down and inside, and he gives up his body, takes it off the chest, and throws it outside. Brady almost made the bad mistake of trying to take off for second.
A tenuous lead now for Brady as Kyle throws over. Boy, Brady looks like he just got out of high school and just maybe showered off from that Illinois high school game.
I don't know if I want to get in a dunk contest. I might shoot him at horse.
Ball 2-0 now to George Fabregas, who I think his last name should be changed to Flabbergast, because that's what he was when the Diamondbacks, after losing their arbitration case with him, still awarded him the sum that he would have gotten in arbitration.
With a few more years tacked onto it.
Yeah. For many other owners throughout baseball, it kind of raised an eyebrow at that move by Colangelo. A chopper to Helton. To Perez for one. Back to Helton. Double play. So the two youngsters, Helton and Perez, we've talked about them a lot throughout their minor league careers, paying dividends so far here in the opener. The Rockies
out of the inning. A good curveball from Kyle and the ground ball to Todd Helton. Pivot and a throw down to Perez as he waits for Helton to get back to the bag and keep Kyle out of this. You want to risk injury to the pitcher, and you look at Nathan Waite, makes the accurate throw to first base, and Todd catches the ball and steps on the bag to get out of the inning.
Good point, George. That's a subtle move by a crafty shortstop, Nathan Perez, to hold the ball long enough, and you know Brady's coming at you, to have the courage to stand in to give Helton time to get back to the bag.
It's not the move you would want to see from somebody with 60 games experience in the big leagues. You wouldn't expect to see it, but he does it as if he's the veteran.
Here's Ellis Burks to lead off the second. It's a fly ball into shallow right center. And Devon White gracefully comes in and makes the catch. Boy, is he the most graceful runner in baseball, Devon White?
What you like to see out of White is he gets such a great break on the ball. When balls are hit, a lot of center fielders won't be able to go get the ball like that. But it looks like he's jogging, but he's always there in plenty of time.
Larry Walker, the batter, he grounded to second his first time up. One out in the third, the Rockies lead by one. With George Frazier, I'm Dave Armstrong at the brand spanking new Bank One ballpark.
Better known as the Bob.
What about Bob? Caught the corner.
The fans of Arizona seem to be very excited as you see the hot dog wrappers start heading up the aisles, and the beer and the pop, and the kids are all got their ball gloves on waiting to play some baseball.
Walker hits it hard but foul. How many souvenirs do you think they'll sell tonight?
Ooh, can I have 10%?
Wow. Can I have 1%?
Oh, I'm greedy. I want 10.
You see the wrap on Larry's surgically repaired elbow. Got him looking, and Larry knew it. Good fastball from Bennis. And they're too quickly gone for the Rockies in the third.
The scouting report on Larry Walker. Pitch inside and down. Bettis comes right inside with the fastball. Walker knows it. It's just a short walk back to the dugout. But as good as Larry Walker is, that will go into the memory bank. Trust me. And when he comes up next time, he'll be looking.
Fastball outside to Dante Bichette, who grounded to short his first time up. That was the first strikeout for Bennis tonight. Kind of weird to see another team wearing purple. Bichette with a base hit into left field. So Dante Bichette picking up where he left off to end spring training with a 2-out single here in the third.
With 2 outs, Bennis doesn't want to fall behind and walk, so he goes away with the fastball that's going to be called a strike. Bichette with his strength just reaches out. What you don't want a power hitter to do is extend those arms like that. Bichette just extends and lifts it over the shortstop.
Especially those arms.
Those you aren't kidding. Oof.
He's got some guns. Dante did gain some weight in the offseason, but it's all muscle. Dante said a lot of what people don't talk about is how much I gained in my legs. He said I had just spindly legs the last couple of years because of the knee injury. He added 3 inches to his thighs, 3 inches of muscle. He was leg pressing 1,200 pounds. That's an enormous amount of weight. Vinny Castillo looks at a fastball for a strike on the outside edge.
You know, you look back years ago, Dave, a guy would reach 34, 35, 6 years old, and you'd see him retiring out of baseball. The body was worn out. With all the modern technology and weightlifting and nutrition, they want to keep playing the game. He loves the game. He got his body in shape.
And it's now a 12-month adventure for ball players. Used to be guys had to work in the off season in real estate or selling cars, but now these guys make enough money where it's a year-round job. And Bichette really hit the weights hard in the off season, and he hopes it pays off. Castilla singled and scored in the Rockies' second. Another fastball from Bennis to a fastball hitter, and it's 2-1 to Vinny. Is there a better fastball hitter in the game today than Vinny Castilla? I don't think so. You
better throw it. If you do, it better sink or cut away from the hitter, because if you leave it belt high, middle half in, Vinny's going to give some people a souvenir in left field.
There goes Bichette. The ball hit on the ground to Williams. He'll throw across to Lee, and that'll do it for the Rockies in the third. A two-out single from Bichette. That was it. Andy Bennis striking out. Scenic shots in its 11th year, providing aerial television. The MetLife blimp. Snoopy 2 bringing you today's scenic shots from outside the Bob. Look for Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 at future sporting events throughout 1998. Edwin Diaz to lead off for the Diamondbacks in the second. He looks at a fastball high, ball one. Diaz thought he was going to the minor leagues. Then he got a call yesterday and said, well, come on back. We want you to start at second base in the opener. What a phone call that must have been.
The highest he had ever played in professional baseball was in Oklahoma City last year, where he only played 20 games, wasn't successful, sent back to the minor leagues, or back to Tulsa in Double-A, where he hit 275, and he hits this ball high behind the third base area.
Perez, he'll make the catch. You wonder if this place was closed, if that might have hit the roof here at the bottom. We gave you a moment to think about what the long-standing record tied on opening day 1974. Brought to you by Jeep Eagle. The answer, Henry Aaron hit in his first at bat against Al Downing of the Dodgers. A home run to tie Babe Ruth's 714 career home runs. That actually wasn't off Al Downing. The tying, the one that put him ahead was. Like something has come out onto the field.
Looks like my fastball. Looked like my old fastball, Dave.
That's the way it looked like to the hitters anyway. Put a little Vaseline on that.
Hey.
Back up in the crowd.
Watch it.
By the way, speaking of opening day, as Ellis Burks shows off his versatility, this for Cal Ripken as a footnote was the 2,479th consecutive game he played today against the Royals, although the Royals did beat the Orioles 4-1. Andy Bennis thought he was, as George said, going to be back with the St. Louis Cardinals, but a snafu in the negotiations. He agreed to a contract past the midnight deadline, and his agent, Scott Boras, not exactly a big favorite amongst the owners, and so the ownership said, no, that's a technicality. Sorry, you can't sign with the Cardinals. So he could not be reunited with his brother Alan in St. Louis. Instead, he came here to Arizona to pitch for the Diamondbacks. There's Jerry Colangelo, who has already caused a little bit of a turmoil in baseball with the signing of Bennis, a $10 million bonus to Travis Lee. He isn't exactly real popular amongst his fellow owners, but he says, hey, look, we're just trying to get competitive as quickly as we possibly can. Well, Drew Goodman has decided, even though it's a little chilly here, to check out the surroundings at Bank One Ballpark. Drew, where are you?
Well, I'm about 415 feet from home plate. I'm smart enough not to bring my swimsuit. The pool behind me. You mentioned it earlier, $4,000 gets you in. It doesn't pay for the Mai Tais. The roof above is fascinating because of the grass field below. If the weather's inclement, they have done research and figured out how much sunlight they need to get on the field to keep the grass healthy. If they have to close the roof, they have growth lights to keep the grass healthy. Another interesting fact from Bank One Ballpark, and Dave, as you mentioned, 5 minutes to close the roof and you can't even hear it. It's amazing.
It is amazing. Technology much improved over what they have at Skydome in Toronto, even though that's a beautiful facility, but they've even advanced since they built Skydome about 8 years ago. Well, Devon White, he struck out his first at bat, and he's in a hole again. 0-2. 2 out, nobody on, 3rd inning. Darryl Kyle cruising along so far on a 2-hitter. Tried to get White to chase, and he will do that. White, once upon a time in his career, was a stolen base threat. He had 44 stolen bases in the '89 season when he was with the California Angels. But in the past 4 years combined, he has just 57 stolen bases. A weekly hit on the ground. Helton will surround that one and step on the bag. An easy 1-2-3 for Darryl Kyle as he gets Diaz, Bennis, and finally Devon White. 3 innings in the books. The Rockies lead it 1-0. I wonder if he still has ties to the Yankees. I know he was always a close friend of George Steinbrenner, and you would see him often at Yankee Stadium, but now here he is at the Bob watching the Diamondbacks. Well, he did a great job on the Oscars again.
As always.
Oh.
Yeah, he was quite a player in high school. Good baseball player. I used to watch him in the celebrity games in Dodger Stadium and Yankee Stadium. He's a pretty good player. Not that you would pay him to play, but he was a good player.
Well, here's the hero of the night so far for the Rockies. An RBI double from Todd Helton, his first at bat. And another good at bat so far for Helton as he lays off another pitch and gets ahead in the count 2-0. Was that a great at bat for Helton his first time up, or what?
You just don't look for things like that from a rookie. You'd think on opening day, I'm replacing Andres Galarraga at first base. I'm going to be hacking.
He's hacking here and hits it hard to left field, but Brady right there had to go back a half step as the ball came in, and you can tell from that the ball does carry here at the Bob. So 1 out for the Rockies in the 4th.
This ball hit on the line, and you can see he starts to come in for the ball, then drops back to get it. I think the ball carries, but I think the guy that hit it had a little something to do with it too.
Well, Don Baylor was quoted as saying after watching the workout yesterday that this ballpark is set up for extra base hits. He said the Bob may lead the league in doubles and triples. Perez fouls that one out of play. Another souvenir, and the count evens up at 1-1.
There's so much room in the outfield, and when the ball gets into the corners, Dave, there's a chance because there's a metal stripping around the fence that when it hits, it can run like a cat, just chased all along the wall. And that's what the cause of concern as far as the ball club is concerned. When a ball's hit out into that corner, there's a chance that ball could hit and take off running. We saw earlier on the double by Helton that Brady had trouble getting that ball and getting it back in. You can see the bar along the bottom of the bullpen.
Whacked at the first baseman, Travis Lee. He grabs it on a hop and steps on the bag. There are 2 outs. Interesting you should talk about those corners, George, because when the Rockies came for the workout yesterday, Dante Bichette took one look at that corner in left field, and he said, how long do you think before that finds me? Of course, we'll all remember Dante and the opener last year in Cincinnati had a nightmare and then actually played better defensively as the season wore on. Dante probably is excited about his defense this year as he is his offense. He feels with the knee now healthy and 100%, he'll be able to do things, plan on both legs, throw the ball better, and move better in the outfield. 2 out for Manwaring, and the pitch down low, 2-0. The number 8 spot in the order, George, it's so important to a ball club to try to turn that lineup over, and Manwaring will see if he can be as effective as Walt Weiss used to be in that 8 spot to try to get Kyle up and out of the way. 2-1. You can see he was taking there to do just that.
Well, you want to try to work the count deep, get a pitch you can hit and drive and get on base, and try to get Kyle up to the plate with 2 outs. You never know what happens. You always hear in the dugout, you'll hear teammates yell 2-out rallies.
Little broken bat hopper to Edwin Diaz, and an easy inning for Andy Bennis, who has settled down. Now the Rockies continue to lead 1-0. It'll be Fox Sports Net. Glad to welcome Fox Sports Rocky Mountain back to Rockies coverage for 1998. 50 games on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain this year, along with 75 more on Denver's WB2. KWGN. Fox Sports News will follow our game tonight, and tomorrow night, don't forget, the Avalanche will be heading to Detroit to take on those dreaded Red Wings, a game you can see right here on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain. Then we'll be back on the air for the finale of this 3-game series with the Diamondbacks on Thursday night. Jay Bell to lead off the 4th inning for Arizona. He grounded to short his first time up. A nice play from Neifi Perez. Fastball way outside, ball 1.
I kind of expected the opposite from Darryl Kyle, as he would be excited about opening day and getting the start, his first start opening day, that he might try to overthrow some of his pitches early, but he struck out 2 of the 3 hitters he faced in the first inning and has had good command of all of his pitches throughout the ballgame.
I'm starting to believe now that those spring numbers really were meaningless. He has been very effective checking the Diamondbacks on just 2 singles. A little bit low and outside. 2-1 now to Bell. Bell with the Royals last year, a great offensive season. Career highs for him in home runs and RBIs. Checked in time. 3-1 now for the first time Kyle falls behind a hitter.
It's the first time he's reached a 3-ball count in the ballgame.
That's amazing. Doesn't walk many. Walked only 94 last year in those 255+ innings. Fastball just missed, and Kyle wondered where that was.
Not only where the pitch was, he felt that Bell may have made an offering at the ball. You get a reputation in the league that you get ahead in the count, that you throw strikes, and that's what helps a Greg Maddux, a Glavine, a Darryl Kyle, and Andy Benes, because you're around the plate and you'll get those pitches called.
No question about it. So Kyle now turns his attention to Travis Lee, who whacked a single to center his first time up. Fastball, he's hacking again, and he fouls it back and out of play. Strike 1. Lee hit 5th in the order most of spring training, but Buck Showalter decided to move him up here into the 3-hole, saying everything we have put before Travis Lee he has accomplished. So he said, I guess it's time to see what he can do in the 3 spot. Not bad either to bat between Bell and Williams.
Pretty good combination, and we talked about pressure as Don Baylor has tried to alleviate some of that off of Todd Helton, hitting him behind Vinny Castilla, and Showalter chooses to do just the opposite with Lee and Brady.
Kyle again making sure Bell doesn't get too big a lead.
And I think as the season goes along, the last pitch from Kyle was a backdoor curveball that he left high and outside again. That pitch is the toughest to get your body in sync for, to hit that outside corner on a consistent basis.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. Oh, does he have a great curve? Or, I mean, you look at him and he has 2 different kinds of curves, 3 sometimes. One of them he throws with just 1 finger on the ball. Well,
you try to compare him to who had the best curveball in baseball. You see a fastball, that pinky come down. That's fastball inside whenever you see a catcher do that. Wants it inside on that inside half down.
Pop foul behind home plate. This one will be about 40 rows up. Out of play. And it's still 1-2. Bell still at first. Does that set up something else now?
Well, that puts the ball, now all of a sudden it's in his mind. All right, the count was 1-0 with a backdoor curve he hung. Then he comes back with a curveball for a strike. Now he gives me a fastball in. You see there that he goes away with the pitch. He wants it out on the outer half of the plate. You saw the thumb come out. When that thumb comes out, give me a throw to first base. As a hitter and as a coach, you'll watch that outside elbow of the catcher. Watch Manwaring try to give where the pitch is going. So that's why you see a lot of guys give the pinky or a single circle of the index finger where he wants. Came back with the curveball.
Lee with a good at bat does not offer. So it's 2-2 now to Lee.
Anytime, Dave, whenever you'd see a catcher's elbow fly up, you'd think he'd want that pitch inside because he had to rotate that. Lately, in the last 4 or 5 years, catchers have gone to the fastball with the pinky. Curveball coming here, if they all agree.
They do, and it's hit on the ground. Foul past third. They're running like crazy and cheering like crazy, but this is a foul ball. Bell kept going.
Now we'll have the first argument at the ball.
Well, I don't know why the argument. I mean, there couldn't have been a clearer sign from the third base umpire. Larry Poncino immediately called it foul.
And that's what Showalter's doing. Did you even signal what happened?
Sure, look.
There it is. There he is with the foul ball, Carl. He's right on top of it. The ball's easily outside of the bag, 6 to 12 inches. Some people might not know this. It's the call of home plate, Jim Quick, between home and third. Beyond that, the other umpire takes over the call and he makes the correct call.
So now, again, the 2-2 offering to Travis Lee. Fastball just missed. Well, Bell probably will be running here 3-2. He'll get the sign from Brian Butterfield, the third base coach for the Diamondbacks. Again, in this situation, you're running to try to put someone in motion to stay out of a double play. There goes Bell, and the ball is whacked into right field. Bell will easily take third. And the Diamondbacks have something cooking here in the fourth.
With the runner on first and no one out, Todd Helton has to hold him on. If he's behind the runner, he's able to catch that. That's not to say he should have been behind the runner. You have to hold him on in that situation with no one out. But again, that's a C&I base hit is what I would call that, as the ball barely got through the infield.
Well, the 1-0 lead for the Rockies now precarious at best. Matt Williams struck out looking his first time up. Curveball outside.
And it was interesting to note that Darryl Kyle never gave him a fastball to even look at. The 3-2 pitch he struck him out with was a curveball. This is where he's at his best 70–80% of the time. He seems to find that extra couple miles an hour, the extra bite on that curveball.
Broken bat to Vinny. They're going to come home, and Bell going on contact is dead at the plate. Great play from Castilla. Bell going on contact, and he is out at the plate. So Williams does not come through.
With contact on the play, and Vinny's playing back because of Matt Williams. We'll take the double play if we have to. But a slow jump by Bell and a great play by Castilla comes in and is able to get it as he comes down the line. A lot of times you would see a collision here, but with the play beating him so much, he's easily out at home plate, and Manwaring checks the other runners. What a great play by Vinny.
And we had a great angle of the throw from Vinny to elude the running Jay Bell, who ran inside the line to try to run into that throw if he could. Now Brady looks at a curveball for a strike. Rockies, and Kyle knows it, a double play away from getting out of this jam. Brady a single his first time up. Lee 2 for 2. Lee's on at second, Williams at first. 1 out of the fourth. Fastball up the middle. This is a double play ball. Nafe's got it to Helton. A double play. You talk about pitching. Wow. Darryl Kyle with runners at first and third and nobody.
Boy, did we ever. And that's the leadership they're looking for. To come out in that with nobody out, runners at first and second, and get out of a jam like that. That'll uplift you offensively and get you going. Now all of a sudden, who's leading off the inning? Darryl Kyle. Should be a great at-bat for him. And what a great job of pitching. You've got to be excited if you've got Darryl Kyle on the hill.
So Kyle, you know, the Rockies in their history have had a lot of times where they've been able to high-five guys in the dugout because of their offense. That was a chance for the Rockies because of pitching and defense to go into that dugout and high-five. You talk about rejuvenating a team, and that's what the Rockies were able to do by getting out of that jam.
We haven't seen that in years past, where a starting pitcher would take it. And you're talking about a bull by the horns. Now you know why they signed him.
Yeah. Curveball over for a strike. A ball and 2 strikes to Darryl Kyle, who tried to bunt his first time up and popped out to the catcher. The Rockies lead it 1-0. We're in the 5th inning. A real bona fide pitcher's duel here at the Bob. Well, they had one other game here at Bank One Ballpark. That was Sunday night, an exhibition game against the Chicago White Sox. In that game, Chicago won 3-0. So the Diamondbacks still looking for their very first run here. The 2-2 pitch just missed a little bit low. Well, Kyle able to make Bennis throw some more pitches. He has now thrown 64 here in the 5th inning. Kyle wastes that one, fouling out of play, and it's still 3 balls, 2 strikes to Kyle. First start coming out of spring training, George. Guys normally will only go 100 to maybe 115 pitches. That's about it.
Well, I think coming out of spring training, Darryl Kyle hit 100 pitches in his last start, but I think this will be up to Darryl Kyle.
Kyle gets pretty good wood on that one. Devon White, though, lopes back after it and makes the catch. And let's take a look at this double play again from Nathan Perez. Another $50 has been donated to the Colorado Special Olympics thanks to this double play. And they've got the Rockies out of a jam, 1st and 3rd, nobody out. They get Jay Bell at the plate and a ground ball, and then they get the double play from Nathan Perez. Boy, that had to look great to him, right? I mean, that's tailor-made. You come to the shortstop, step on the bag, easy pickings. Here's Mike Lansing, led off the game with a base hit.
Walt Weiss did a great job here playing shortstop. I'm not sure he had the same range that Perez has. So it's going to be a different look for the Rockies, and it's going to be an exciting look because he can go deep into the hole with his strong arm. He's so agile around the base, and it's a comforting feeling if you're standing on the hill and the ball gets hit on the ground back up the middle, and you know you've got Perez playing behind you.
Perez doing a little work on his bat.
That's great about hitters. You always watch them in the dugout. They used to have the old cow bones that they'd rake them up and down, try to make the wood hard. He's trying to shave the handle down to make it a little bit skinnier. You order a bat with a fatter handle so you get better wood.
What's he doing with number 17? That's Todd Helton's bat.
Check the rack. Well, I don't know. Helton got a base hit. He might as well try another bat.
Got a double to drive home the Rockies' only run. Still 2-2 to Mike Lansing as he waits that pitch. Lansing said that once the Rockies came into existence, it became his dream, his passion to one day play for Colorado. And when no one was more thrilled than he when the Rockies traded for him in the offseason. Chance for him to play in front of so many fans in Casper, Wyoming, where he grew up. He's come a long way since his days at Wichita State and with the Miami Miracle in the minor leagues. Lansing bounces off to Bell. 2 gone in the 5th. Bennis is now retired 6 in a row. Two down, nobody on for Ellis Burks, who is 0 for 2 so far. The Rockies probably thankful that Burks and that sore hamstring really haven't been tested in the outfield.
Well, with the ground ball early in his first at bat, he ran pretty good up the first base line. I didn't see him grab or come up with a hitch at all, so that's a good sign.
He's a key figure, isn't he, George, to stay healthy this year?
It's huge. We have to have him healthy.
Swing and a miss. 1-1 to Burks. Burks played in just 119 games last year, and I guess it's no small coincidence that while he was on the disabled list in July, the Rockies lost 15 of 16 and fell out of the race. He has averaged .311 in his 4 years with Colorado, but injuries have plagued him. Hot shot up the middle, speared by Bell. Former Gold Glover throws out Ellis Burks. Well, the Rockies go in order for the second consecutive inning, and a fine play from Jay Bell. But the Rockies continue to lead halfway through from the Bob. It's 1-0.
What do you like in the Eagle floor department?
Oh, I like that one. Well, even this one up here that had some blue in it.
Because they got all the brands here at Eagle. They got Armstrong and Mannington and Congoleum.
And I'm a very messy kind of person.
Oh, you are?
Probably should get the black one.
we could sell you a tile that's pre-finished with waxy yellow buildup, Trish. You know.
I feel right at home.
Eagle Hardware and Garden. More of everything.
Cover your floors in quality with Armstrong vinyl flooring. Great looks that last at guaranteed low prices every day. Armstrong at Eagle.
When things go wrong, and they sometimes will, and the road you're traveling is all uphill, let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Because Checker understands every car, truck, wagon, or van.
Talk to the ASC certified parts pros at Checker. We'll get you what you need at the low price guarantee. Like 76 products NASCAR High Performance Motor Oil, the official oil of NASCAR. Checker.
Let's work together.
Personal space. Seems like it's getting harder and harder to come by. But when you travel on United Airlines, it's actually getting easier, with more spacious wide-body planes than any other airline. It's one more way United is rising.
Well, don't miss the April issue of Rockies magazine. It contains new features we're sure you'll be excited about. You can read about Larry Walker, see how the MVP award has changed his life, learn about Darryl Kyle and Mike Lansing, a couple of new faces in the lineup you don't want to miss. Our home game with the Rockies season section profiling Todd Helton. So all of that available at King Soopers and, of course, at Coors Field, the April issue of Rockies magazine. Leading off for the Diamondbacks will be Kareem Garcia. He'll be followed by George Fabregas and Edwin Diaz. Bottom of the 5th inning, 1-0 Rockies. Hit hard but foul past Helton. Garcia struck out his first time up. Garcia nursing a sore hamstring. He was questionable until a couple of days ago. The Diamondbacks actually had 3 games they lost to El Nino. They did not play their last Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. In an exhibition game here, as I mentioned, against Chicago on Sunday. Garcia played in that game, and he convinced Buck Showalter not to put him on the disabled list. A ball and a strike to Garcia. Showalter, a guy that, well, he's been an actor. He appeared on a Seinfeld episode. He's been a Yankees manager, which I guess qualifies you for the Actors Guild.
You better be a pretty good actor and a storyteller with George when he makes the phone call down to the dugout.
I should say. Garcia hits it on the ground to Lansing. Easy play for Mike, and one gone here in the 5th.
George Fabregas.
Buck Showalter, expansion teams 8-4 on opening day. Of course, the Rockies lost to Dwight Gooden and the Mets at Shea Stadium 3-0. The Marlins did win against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Expansion, first time in baseball, happened in 1961. And that was when baseball expanded by 2 in the American League. The Los Angeles Angels and the Washington Senators. And what's interesting about that is the Senators of 1960 moved from Washington to Minnesota to become the Twins, and then baseball put a team right back in the nation's capital in 1961. So they never were without baseball. They just had a new team. Then in 62, of course, the Mets came in along with the Houston Colt 45s, and the Mets with the major league record 120 losses. Casey Stengel lost a little bit of hair that season as manager of New York. The Mets in 62, I guess it should have been a precursor of things to come. 16 of their players got stuck in an elevator at the team hotel and almost didn't make it to opening day. Fabregas with the walk. The first one, or excuse me, the second one issued by Kyle. He walked Bell to lead off the fourth.
Well, he pitched to Fabregas like he's a 300 hitter. He hit the ball out of the ballpark. Hasn't had very good years offensively the last 2 or 3 years, and I'm sure that Kyle's disappointed in his effort to Fabregas. Now he's going to come back to that good old putty, the double play.
Rockies turned to double play in that fourth inning and also turned one in the second. Both of them inning-ending double plays. Nefi Perez, a big part of both of the twin killings. Lansing hasn't been involved yet. The first was a 3-6-3, first short first, and the second was just 6-3, short to first. Pop foul and out of play. 1-1 to Edwin Diaz, who is in there for his defense, not his offense. He popped out to shortstop his first time up. Curveball stays inside, 2-1.
We talked about the curveball from Kyle. The only other pitcher in recent history that I can think of that had a curveball equal to his was Bert Blyleven. And Bert would throw the ball from up on top, 3/4 and sidearm, and that's the 3 or 4 curveballs you're talking about, depending on the break. You hear a guy's fastball will hiss on the way to home plate. You can hear Kyle's curveball.
That's amazing. There's the fastball, and it's inside, 3-1. So after walking Fabregas, Kyle starting to fall behind some hitters. He walked Bell to lead off the fourth, and he is behind here to Edwin Diaz, 3-1. Kyle says, for me to be successful, I've got to be kind of goofy out there. I've got to be willing to throw any pitch, any spot, any time. Let's see what he throws here. 3-1. A fastball that's popped up behind home plate. Manwaring, does he have room? He does. I think with the roof closed, that one might have gone up into the seats, but I think a little bit of the current pushed that one back out.
Well, it might have hit the roof if it was open. This ball's hit extremely high. A fastball, he goes right at Diaz, and it goes back up. Kurt Manwaring does a nice job of finding the baseball, and in a new ballpark, that's not easy to do. Finds the ball, comes back away from the cage, makes the catch, puts a smile on his face.
So now 2 out, and he can face the pitcher, Andy Benes. Fabregas, no threat to run at first base. Fastball up and away, ball 1. Wonder, how does Benes feel after all that contract squabble in the offseason, and then thinking he was going to be a member of the Cardinals, and here he is in Arizona.
His back left pocket's about $12 million light. How would you feel?
Vinny handles the short hop, and he makes a nice defensive play. Boy, the Rockies looking good in the field so far to start off the 98 season, and they continue to lead it 1-0.
A lot of industry experts told us that the passenger side was the best place to add a third door. We got still more advice insisting that the driver's side was the only logical choice. But as you can see, we let it all go right in one ear and out the other. Introducing the new Dodge Ram Quad Cab. The rules have changed.
Be cool about fire safety.
Did you know that many fires started because kids played with matches and lighters?
It's really sad. The fire started with matches and lighters for thousands of people last year.
Like parents and grandparents
and brothers and sisters. If you ever see matches or lighters, don't touch them.
Somebody left out matches and a lighter.
Remember,
Wow!
keep your eyes open, and if you see these, tell a grown-up right away. But never touch them, and you'll be a real superhero.
Like a deputy fire marshal?
Exactly.
Don't touch matches or lighters. Tell a grown-up instead. Be cool about fire safety.
Home teams, Fox attitude. You're watching Fox Sports Rocky Mountain.
Rockies lead the Diamondbacks 1-0 in a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel here at the Bob. With George Frazier and Drew Goodman, I'm Dave Armstrong, watching Andy Bennis and Darryl Kyle. Bennis making his 5th opening day start. Kyle his 1st, and both have been brilliant. Larry Walker to lead off for the Rockies in the 6th inning. He's 0 for 2 so far. He'll be followed by Bichette and Castilla. So the heart of the order up for the Rockies. Swing and a miss by Walker. Walker grounded to second his first time up and was caught looking in the 3rd inning. Fastball missed low, 1-1. That one got by Fabregas. And also eluded home plate umpire Jim Quick, who quickly got out of the way. It's 2-1 to Larry Walker to lead off the Rockies' 6th.
When Walker struck out in his last at bat, it was a fastball inside. He went away with a changeup in the first pitch in this at bat, and then 2 fastballs inside. It'll be interesting to how he tries to complete this at bat.
Curveball inside. Walker swings over the top of that one. That one beaten a dirt foul. And the count stays 2-2. Well, Bennis has been special, retiring the Rockies in order in each of the last 2 innings. In fact, he has retired 7 in a row. Walker gets a hold of this one, heading for the swimming pool. Is this ball going to get wet? No. On the warning track, Devon White falls it in. So Walker gave it a ride, but not quite far enough.
We wondered if the ball would carry in this ballpark. I think Walker hit the ball well enough to get it out. The roof open. It looks like it hits a wall at about 390 feet. And again, Devon White makes a nice play, a gliding catch into the gap.
So Walker goes back to the dugout, to the murmurs of the crowd here at Bank One Ballpark. Here's Bichette. A single his last time up. In fact, Bichette, the last base runner for the Rockies. Got a fastball and hit it right down the line, and Williams bobbles it. Well, the first error of the year will go to Matt Williams. Williams, a 4-time Gold Glove winner. Let's go to Drew Goodman, who's in one of the luxury suites here at Bank One Ballpark. Drew?
Thanks very much. I had trouble hearing you for a sec. Pete Coors joins us, and you look at this ballpark and you have to think back to a couple of years ago when Coors Field opened.
Well, this is probably the most exciting night, I think, for any city to be able to go through this first ball game, and it's great. It's very exciting to be here.
Vinny Castilla.
We'll get back to you in a moment, Pete. Let's go back upstairs.
Up over the fence and a home run for Castilla. Vinny Castilla has just given the Rockies a 3-0 lead with a 2-run homer. I'm sure Pete Coors will stand by as we take another peek at Vinny Castilla's first home run of the year and the mile-high salute.
All spring you heard about Bichette's home runs, and I kept saying, watch out for Vinny. Here he takes a fastball from Venice up in the strike zone and drives it out over the left field fence. You see the extension on the arms when it gets out. That's what typical Vinny, when he gets his arms extended and puts it out, and what a great feeling this has to be to put the Rockies up on top 3-0.
So Vinny has been involved in 2 of the 3 runs. He has scored twice, the home run there, and the error by Matt Williams costly to the Diamondbacks as Bichette gets aboard. And the Rockies now lead it 3-0.
Tells you something about this offense as Venice had coasted along, retired 6-7 guys in a row before the error by Williams and then the home run by Castilla.
Let's go back to Drew Goodman. Are they celebrating in the Coors box?
All right, guys, thanks very much. We continue with Pete Coors. This is a special place, and I think a little more optimism this year with your club.
Oh yeah, this is a tough game to be in, and that's part of what makes it so exciting for the fans. And this is the kind of night that is for the fans.
How special for you when you look at the Diamondbacks and how they were constructed? I know they spent a lot of time with you guys, with the Colorado Rockies, in how to not only build a stadium, but how to build a franchise.
I think what Jerry Colangelo did was to begin to understand that this is baseball, yes, and how important that is. But this is entertainment. This is to give 50,000 people an experience that they're going to enjoy and go home and say, boy, we're really glad we were there.
Pete, thanks so much. We got to get it upstairs. The Rockies are doing what you want. They're rallying. Thanks again.
I've got a good idea.
Great to be with you, Drew.
Anytime the Rockies go into a slump this year, George, will have Peter Coors available. A home run, and now this double from Todd Helton, his second of the game.
As Brady tries to outreach and get this baseball, he's not able to get to it 2 times in a row. Todd Helton has gone down the left field line. Venice has tried to go away from him, and Fabregas is headed to the hill, and Mark Connor, longtime pitching coach in the Yankee organization and a longtime friend of Buck Showalter, who he brought here with him, goes out to the mound for a visit.
And the Rockies are rocking Venice, and there was really nothing to indicate this for Andy Venice. As first the error from Dante Bichette, or from Matt Williams, to allow Dante Bichette to reach and open the floodgates. And Vinny Castilla then followed with a 2-run homer. Now Todd Helton a double the other way. And Venice will try to settle down against Neifi Perez.
Some concern about Todd Helton and the hamstring. As he went into second base, he came up grabbing the back of that hamstring, Dave, and looked in the dugout as Don Baylor and the medical staff started to make a move. He held him back. No, I'm okay.
Clint Sadowski was the guy you saw in the bullpen for the Diamondbacks. He is warming up. One of 6 right-handers in the bullpen, just 1 lefty in the Diamondbacks pen. That's Omar Dahl. So Venice on the ropes here in the 6th inning. The Rockies trying to add some more. Perez looking to bunt, pulls it back and takes the ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 in. Perez again to bunt, and it's a beauty. If it stays fair, it's a hit. But Williams lets it roll across the chalk line, and again, that's home field knowledge, knowing that ball wouldn't stay fair.
You can stop the ball, and a lot of ground crew people, Dave, will take this infield and they will slant it towards the infield side the first 20-25 feet up that baseline. Watch this ball as it gets on the edge of that grass and really dives into foul territory. They'll tilt that dirt the other way as it gets farther down.
That's if they have a team like the Cardinals used to have in the 80s or the Royals. And you want to tilt that field because you have a lot of guys that like to bunt for base hits. But Diamondbacks said, no, we don't want to do that. They have a lineup that really isn't geared for bunting.
Well, one thing that I haven't mentioned, and I'm not sure if Dave has, is the dirt path from home plate to the pitcher's mound. We haven't seen that since the early 20s on a baseball field. I've never seen that look before.
Now, when have you seen a game from the early 20s?
I watched film.
I think the only time I've ever seen that is in the movies. The old William Bendix's Babe Ruth.
It is a different look.
It is.
With the dirt path all the way up the home plate area. And I tried to think back, get a great overshot of it there, an oversight of it, is I tried to think back. I wonder if that would bother me as a pitcher, because you're used to seeing green all the way in.
Sure.
But all of a sudden now it's like, okay, throw your fastball in that outer half angle there and throw it down the right side of the dirt path and let it sink.
We were trying to think back to perhaps when the last time ball fields looked like this. Very interesting. The dirt path from the pitcher's mound to home plate gives the ballpark here in Phoenix a little bit different look, as if they needed to have a different look. The 0-1 pitch to Manwaring. Broken bat into center field, and it carries out to Devon White, who hauls it in. Well, Todd Helton with a double, but it was the big blast from Vinny Castilla, the 2-run homer, to give Darryl Kyle a little cushion. 3-0 Rockies.
A lot of times when something goes wrong with your car, you know it right away. But some parts, like shock absorbers, tend to wear out gradually over time. So gradually that many drivers fail to realize just how worn their shocks have become. So rather than wait until it's painfully obvious that you need new shocks, stop by your nearest AutoZone. Right now, when you buy 3 Gabriel Gas Rider shocks or struts, you get the 4th one free, only at AutoZone.
Hey, what are you looking at?
With one easy call, you could be looking at PrimeStar.
Heads up!
Now, for a limited time, you can have PrimeStar installed with a month of free programming for just $99. PrimeStar offers up to 160 channels, including your home team sports.
Get your man, get your man, get your man!
PrimeStar is rated #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. So call 1-800-PrimeStar and get all the body checking, slam dunking, quarterback sacking, back cracking action you can handle.
Now you're looking at PrimeStar.
Yeah, we landscaped a plot of land at our high school. We took 2 nurseries to hardware stores and compared the prices of plants.
And your conclusion was?
Eagle was about $100 cheaper. $261 for Eagle and $330 for the other.
You got an A in this, huh?
Yes, we did.
Well, everyone knows that Eagle guarantees the lowest prices. Isn't that the cheating? Eagle Hardware and Garden. More of everything.
Get growing with Kohl's potting soil. Available in specially formulated blends for indoor and outdoor use. Kohl's at Eagle.
Colorado Rockies baseball on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain is brought to you by AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. By United Airlines. You deserve a higher level of service. That's why United Airlines is rising. And by your Front Range Jeep dealers. With Drew Goodman and George Frazier, I'm Dave Armstrong at Bank One Ballpark. Not all Diamondback fans here. We have some Rocky holdovers on hand. They probably remember when that dirt went from the pitcher's mound to home plate.
I was just getting ready to say, I'd like to hear the story they're talking about right now, considering the history of baseball and everything that's gone on.
Well, we mentioned the first expansion in '61, then '62. Vinny Castilla to throw out Devon White, and a brilliant play from Vinny.
What's great about this is that Vinny Castilla is moving on the pitch. It's almost like someone told him he's going to bunt the baseball because he charges so quickly in. Fields this with the glove. A lot of guys would have to barehand it, but because of his strong arm and the accuracy of that arm, he takes it with the glove, and it's just a flip for him to first base. Todd Helton with the stretch to get the first out, and that's a big out. After you just scored 2 runs, you want to get that leadoff hitter out.
He might have one of the most accurate arms in the history of this game from third base.
No question.
You're in good hands with Vinny. So Castilla gunning out Devon White. And Jay Bell, the batter. Strike 1 on that check swing. Bell walked to lead off the 4th inning when the Diamondbacks really threatened. Bell was running on a 3-2 count when Travis Lee hit a chopper over Todd Helton. Bell advancing to third, but then Matt Williams hit a one-hopper to Vinny. He threw out Bell at the plate, then a double play off the bat of Brent Brady, and the Rockies and Darryl Kyle escaped any damage at all.
It's almost like Kyle picked up about 5 miles an hour after the 2-run home run.
Swing and a miss, and down goes Bell. 4th strikeout for Kyle, his first since the 2nd inning.
Showed him a curveball from the side. This one's right over the top. Looks like a fastball again. It has that 4-seam rotation coming at you. And look at the break on the curveball, down and away. You talk about feeling helpless as a hitter. Frank Funk, the pitching coach, sitting over there going, okay, all you guys in Denver that were worried, are you still worried?
Travis Lee, what a debut, a home run. He's 3 for 3. First pitch fastball, and Lee jumped all over it. So the first home run at Bank One Ballpark for the Diamondbacks is from Travis Lee, but the first overall still belongs to Vinny Castillo.
With 2 outs, nobody on, and a 3-0 lead. He can't hit a 3-run home run to tie it up, so get ahead in the count. He's got 2 base hits off of you. Comes back with the fastball to get ahead, and the kid hits it out of the ballpark.
Oh, you look at that play now from Vinny Castilla to get Devon White to lead off this inning.
And that was a good bunt by White, but a better play by Castilla to get him at first base. It's huge.
Well, the 2 rookies are going toe-to-toe here. Todd Helton with 2 doubles and 1 RBI, and Travis Lee 2 singles and a home run. Matt Williams hits a high fly to center field. Ellis Burks, though, has plenty of room, and he hauls it in. Well, that'll do it for the Diamondbacks. Kyle giving up the home run to Travis Lee, but that's all. 6 in the books. The Rockies lead it by 2, 3-1.
We now take you live via sparring camp as heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis prepares for his upcoming title defense. Lennox, how you doing?
I feel good.
So what's the pre-fight strategy?
My speed is the key.
You have to like your chances.
If I'm on my game, I'm unstoppable.
Word is that you're ducking Holyfield.
Say what? Any more questions?
Be cool about fire safety. If you don't want to get burned, be cool about fire safety. You got a lot to learn. Don't touch matches or lighters. Tell a grown up instead. You gotta have an escape plan, and you be a step ahead. Don't hide, go outside, get out the door and run. You gotta race to a neighbor's place and down line 1-1. You need smoke detectors that everyone can hear.
How many smoke detectors do you have in your home? Count them.
Remember that where there's fire, there's gonna be a lot of smoke. Falling, crawling, cover your mouth so smoke can make you choke. Be cool about fire safety. If you don't want to get burned, be cool about fire safety. You got a lot to learn.
Fox Sports News. We are there. Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
Travis Lee, the rookie, with the first home run in Diamondback history to put Arizona on the board, but the Rockies still lead 3-1 as we go to the 7th. Now, don't forget, tomorrow night, grudge match. The Avalanche travel to Detroit to take on the Red Wings. Gets underway with Avalanche tonight at 6 Central, 5 o'clock Mountain. Tomorrow night here on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain, your home of Fox Sports Net. Darryl Kyle will lead off for the Rockies in the 7th inning. Then he'll be followed by Lansing and Burks. Down too low from Bennis, and Buck Showalter, George, is going to keep a very close eye on Bennis here in the 7th inning. He started to unravel a bit in the 6th inning, and that was his 96th pitch.
start to reach that magic number as Kyle hits a fly ball to right field. Garcia's under to retiring. But you hit that magic 100-pitch wall. You know, Dave, when I pitched, guys would be 130, 140 pitches. I know Ron Guidry, who won a lot of games for the Yankees, wanted to go into the 8th and 9th inning. He didn't care about a pitch count. He worried about whether he's winning. 97 pitches total, 59 strikes, 38 balls. Pretty good night by Mr. Bennis, trailing in the ballgame 3-1.
Sadowski ready to go in the bullpen, standing there watching the action. Breaking ball outside to Mike Lansing, who is 1 for 3, singled to lead off the game. And he singles again past Diaz. 2 hits for Mike Lansing in his Rockies debut.
Throw out the spring numbers. 2 base hits, 4 at bats.
You could say the same for Darryl Kyle, huh?
Absolutely.
This Sunday, NFL Europe kicks off with its season premiere, the first of 10 games on Fox Sports Met. And Georgia's favorite team, the Scottish Claymores, in a big battle with the Barcelona Dragons. Game time, 5 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Mountain. I've seen you wear that Claymore gear all around.
Well, I have had the jersey and the hat on.
Ellis Burks looks at a fastball at the knee, strike 1. You know, Bennis has had somewhat of a chip on his shoulder with regards to the Colorado Rockies. Many of you will remember his last start of 97 when he was with the Cardinals, September the 7th, with 2 on, no out. Bennis trying to bunt was hit by a Pedro Estacio pitch, and it broke the finger on his pitching hand. That ended his season, and he hopes the Cards might come back in the Central. And then back in 96, Bennis off to a 1-7 start that year. His 7th loss to the Rockies. Don Baylor, after the game, was quoted as saying, "We knew if we could hang around long enough, Bennis would cough it up." Bennis heard the comment, requested to come in relief against the Rockies. 3 days later, he picked up his only major league save and then won 10 straight and 17 of his last 20 starts. Baylor then was quoted as saying just recently, "I'm not going to say any more to get him riled up again."
He can pitch, and there was some questions about whether he had the stamina, intestinal fortitude to be a major league pitcher, and I think he's proven to everyone in baseball he has those qualities.
Inside to Burks, 2-2. Ellis 0 for 3 so far tonight. Lansing getting the lead over at first base, and a good lead. Lansing hasn't run much the last couple of years in the number 2 spot in the Expos order, but now as a leadoff batter, you expect Lansing to run just a little bit more. Lansing has been hampered by a bad back most of the season so far as spring training is concerned. He missed several games. And Lansing seems to be pretty spry so far tonight. You can see 96 stolen bases in his career. Looking over at Gene Glenn to see what might be happening. Ellis Burks, one of the best number 2 hitters in the game. Airplanes flying overhead as the 2-2 pitch comes in, and it's ripped into the corner. That hits the chalk line. It's a fair ball. Lansing racing around second. They're going to wave him home. He's got to hustle. Here comes the relay throw. It's too high. Now the throw down to second. Burks back in safely. An RBI double from Ellis Burks, and a real chance for Gene Glenn to score Mike Lansing. The throw high, and the Rockies are rewarded with another run.
It's just a great job by Ellis Burks on the pitch to start it all off, because Bennis had pounded him inside. He finally gets one up in the strike zone, and Ellis Burks, who's leaving the ballgame with that tight hamstring, will be replaced. But this fastball belt high, middle half in, and Ellis jerks it down the left field line as it hit the chalk for a fair ball. And as Lansing comes around second base and heads for third, there's no question in Glenn's mind whether he's going to send him or not. If this is a good throw, he's out by a long ways. I love the aggressiveness of Gene Glenn at third base, sending Lansing and force it to get the 4th run for the Rockies.
And that'll do it for Andy Bennis. Exit stage left on his 104th pitch. Ellis Burks chases him from the game.
A lot of industry experts told us that the passenger side was the best place to add a third door. We got still more advice insisting that the driver's side was the only logical choice. But as you can see, we let it all go right in one ear and out the other. Introducing the new Dodge Ram Quad Cab. The rules have changed. Even though Dodge Ram is the bright red gold standard of pickup trucks, we're always improving things. We've made our available Magnum V8s even more powerful. We've improved the already world-class interior. In all, we've made 130 improvements to the Ram lineup since introduction, including this one, our new flow-through ventilation system. New Ram Quad Cab. The rules have changed.
Over the years, one brand has won more 4x4 awards than any other name in history. Once again, we've captured everyone's attention. Jeep Grand Cherokee 5.9 Limited, 4x4 of the year. Jeep, the most award-winning brand of 4x4s in all the world. Check one out at your Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Ellis Burks resting on the bench now, but he knows that he contributed tonight with an RBI double to score Mike Lansing. Curtis Goodwin takes his spot at second base and will replace him in center field. And the new pitcher for the Diamondbacks is Clint Sadowski. Sadowski, who was with Pittsburgh last year. New Dodge pitching change. Sadowski didn't make the opening day lineup with the Pirates last season. Eventually came to the big league club May the 7th, but he talked about how disappointed he was when he was told that he would be heading to the minor leagues. But he did make the big league club this year.
And had a chance to be on the major league roster with the Pirates. Threw well enough in spring training. He'll sink the ball away from the left-handed hitters. Try to throw that slider down and in and down and away from the right-hander.
Oh, Bennis goes 6 1/3 innings, giving up 4 runs so far, 3 of those earned. You'll remember that Bichette reached on an error. He is still responsible, Bennis is, for Goodwin at second base. So you can't quite close the book yet on Andy Bennis. He gave up 9 hits. Larry Walker pokes it through the hole. Here comes Goodwin. He'll score easily, even though Garcia has a great arm. Goodwin with tremendous speed. So the Rockies have won up the Diamondbacks, who got the 1 run in the 6th. The Rockies have answered with 2 here in the 7th.
As soon as this pitch is hit, you can see Goodwin's moving with the pitch. And when he sees it hit to the right side, his next job is to pick up Gene Glenn, and he sends him. And it's not even a contest as he motors around third base to score the 5th run of the ball game to put the Rockies on top 5-1.
So that does close the book now on Andy Bennis. Burks would have been credited with a run scored had he stayed in the ball game, but he couldn't because of the sore hamstring. First RBI and hit of the year for Larry Walker. And now Dante Bichette. Bichette 1 for 3 officially, a single in the 3rd. He reached on an error in the 6th inning and was aboard for Vinny Castilla's home run. They have changed the ruling now on that play from Matt Williams, and they gave him a hit. Well, Dante will take it. That's a gift.
That is a big-time gift.
That surprises me. So Matt Williams, I guess, let off the hook. Andy Bennis can't be too happy about that. That'll cost him another earned run. But Bichette with 2 hits tonight. Generous scoring here, offensively anyway, for the Diamondbacks. The 0-2 pitch, slapped through the right side on the hit and run. Boy, the Rockies are really executing now. Walker was on the move, and Bichette punched it through the vacated hole.
tape of the hit and run, this is it. The ball's away. You see Bichette get out on that front leg and hit the ball through the open hole on the first base side. Rockies end up with one out, runners at the corners, and Vinny Castilla, who homered in his last at bat.
George, that's really aggressive.
Well, you wouldn't look for that
pitch. You don't look for it.
Not from Bichette,
no. Well, the Rockies being aggressive with a 5-run lead, and Vinny Castilla gives this one a ride. Devon White looking up, and this one is gone. Wow! Vinny Castilla, did they call it a home run? Finally, they do.
The first base umpire had singled home run. The second base umpire stayed on the infield grass where he should. Boy, what a start for Vinny.
2 home runs for Vinny. Back-to-back home runs for Vinny in the 6th and 7th innings. And Sadowski, and I told you earlier that the bullpen for the Diamondbacks is their real Achilles heel. Sadowski comes in, and he hasn't retired a batter yet. Singles from Walker and Bichette, and now this 3-run homer from Castilla.
Into the deepest part of the ballpark, dead center field, 407 feet. You don't think he doesn't know it's gone. You see this ball hit right above the yellow line and pop up. And that's when first base umpire Dana Demuth signaled home run.
So Vinny Castilla with 5 runs batted in, 3 runs scored, couple of great defensive plays. He is to the forefront as our player of the game, George.
Think so?
I think so. Todd Helton, the batter. Helton got the Rockies off to their start offensively in the 2nd inning with an RBI double to score the aforementioned Castilla. Pretty good start for the Rockies, huh?
All the way around. Great pitching, great hitting. But as Yogi said, it ain't over till it's over, but I like our chances.
8-1. Rockies have out-hit the Diamondbacks 12-4. Mark Connor coming out to have a word with Clint Sadowski, who hasn't retired a batter yet.
And you might wonder, as you alluded to, Dave, a minute ago, their bullpen being the weakest link of their ball club. They have one left-hander in their bullpen. Just one in Dow. So it's hard to go down and say, I'm going to bring in my lefty to face Larry Walker when you know you got Bichette right behind him. Then you got Vinny Castilla. So you go with the right-hander to try to face Mark Connor's going to have a long year.
Maybe it's appropriate, too, that in the Diamondbacks bullpen, they have a guy by the name of Scott Grau warming up. And the Diamondbacks are wiping their brow here tonight. And the Rockies whooping them 8-1. Neifi Perez. And he looks at a strike. Perez 0 for 2 with a walk. Neifi no hits so far, but he has flashed some leather in this game, being involved in a couple of double plays and made a nice play to get Jay Bell earlier in the contest. The Rockies have exploded for 5 runs here in the 7th inning. And they have a runner aboard and still just 1 out. Darryl Kyle led off this inning with a pop fly to right field. Well, Bennis, we thought he was perhaps on his last legs, started to show signs of wear and tear in the 6th inning after retiring 7 in a row, giving up the 2-run homer to Vinny Castilla. 104 pitches for Bennis, and his final pitch, the double from Ellis Burks.
Bennis showing a little bit of leadership. The inning not over, even though his run has scored. Still in the dugout, trying to get the out. A lot of pitchers will leave and go in that locker room.
Foul ball at the plate.
But on a ball club like this, you need leadership.
Absolutely.
You got a shortstop that never played higher than AAA, and you got a first baseman, a right fielder, left fielder with just sparingly time in the big leagues, and it shows a lot of leadership on Andy Bennis's part to stay in the dugout.
And it goes back to what we said earlier about Buck Showalter looking for players whose substance is their style.
Absolutely.
Neifi Perez lifts a soft fly ball into left center field. Brady charging, making the catch. Second out in the inning. Helton retreats to first.
If Manwaring gets on, Darryl Kyle will say, didn't I do this about 5 minutes or 10 minutes earlier before the home runs? He led this inning off.
I think the turning point in this ball game too was when Kyle got out of that first and third jam with nobody out.
No question. It lifted him up. Everybody on the ball club was lifted, offensively and defensively.
Manwaring fouls it off at the plate. Strike one. Manwaring, he's got the color so far in 98, 0 for 3. Manwaring, the 9th man to come to the plate for the Rockies here in the 7th. A ball and a strike. Up the middle, speared by Diaz, and that'll do it. But Vinny Castilla, his second home run of the night, a 3-run homer, a 5-run inning. The Rockies lead it 8-1. And now for a look at what's ahead on Fox Sports News after the game.
Now, Cannon presents this Fox Sports News Sports Break.
Alongside John Walls, I'm Lionel Bienvenu with this sports break. Robin Ventura, one of the White Sox big guns, came through to give new manager Jerry Manuel a win in his debut.
Melvin Watkins resigned from North Carolina Charlotte to take the head coaching job at Texas A&M. News and scores and the highlights nightly on Fox Sports News.
And it's all right here on Fox Sports Net. Be sure to join us then.
Somewhere between home white and road gray, there's chalk. Where chalk blends with clay, there's dust. And if you keep your eye dead center, where dust and ash converge, you'll strike an overpowering color called smoke. One of the colors between the colors created by Canon. Canon Laser Color. Its only competition is reality.
3 hours from now, this place will be filled with 18,000 screaming fans. And if I can take these Coors Lights, deliver them in all their frost-brewed glory, it is my name they're going to be cheering.
Beer man. Excuse me.
Two hours and 59 minutes from now.
Time now to check out tonight's Discover card, Payback Playback.
With the home run hit the center field, you're wondering who's going to make this call. We have to wait as you see the second base umpire look to the first base umpire before he makes the call, and finally Dana DeMute, the first base umpire, signals home run. Vinny Castillo with 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. You got to be happy. What a way to start your year.
You think he likes the number 5 spot?
Oh, yeah. I don't think there'll be any switches tomorrow.
I think he's earned a right to stay right there.
And Todd Helton, where he is. Absolutely. With 2 doubles tonight.
And he's shown great patience from the number 6 spot in the order. So Helton with a couple of doubles tonight. The Rockies are obviously producing. 8 runs, 12 hits tonight. Brent Brady leads off for the Diamondbacks in the 7th. Brady will be followed by Kareem Garcia and then George Fabregas. Fastball rides high. 3 balls and a strike to the lead man for the Diamondbacks in the 7th. 84 pitches now for Darryl Kyle. Play. Count runs full. Brady singled his first time up, and then he hit into that inning-ending double play when the Rockies got out of the jam of all jams in the 4th inning. Again fouled out of play. Tomorrow night, former Rocky Willie Blair will pitch for the Diamondbacks against John Thompson, and we'll be back on the air with Thursday night's broadcast right here on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain. Pedro Estacio against the left-hander Brian Anderson. Pop foul again, out of play. Tap foul, and it stays 3-2. Darryl Kile becomes the 5th different starting pitcher on opening day for the Rockies. David Need was the first opening day starter in the Rockies debut on the 2nd of April of '93. That was the game the Rockies lost 3-0 to Dwight Gooden and the Mets at Shea. And in '94, Armando Reynoso got the start and lost to the Phillies. Bill Swift started for the Rockies in '95, and Kevin Ritz in both '96 and '97. Ritz starts this year on the disabled list. 3-2 pitch again. Brady hits it into center field. Goodwin going back. And he's got room in front of the track and makes the catch. Drew Goodman's out in that area. Drew, did you have a good look at Vinny Castilla's home run?
I had a great look, Dave, at Vinny Castilla's home run right to my right, about 25 feet. And as you guys saw on the replay, it was a home run above that yellow line by about 8 inches. But as we followed Vinny's career, that's where his power is. As you know, in the summertime here, it can get up to 115, 120, even 125 degrees, and not exactly desirable to come to the ballpark. They had that in mind. They have an 8,000-ton cooling system here for the fans. How powerful is that? It could cool 2,500 homes in the desert at once. They didn't leave anything out.
You see the huge cooling system here at Bank One Ballpark. Kareem Garcia pops this one foul. Manwaring makes the play, and they're too quickly gone here in the 7th inning. They are estimating the electric bill here at Bank One Ballpark in the millions of dollars.
As long as I don't have to pay it, I don't worry about it. I hope it does stay cool, because it will get very hot here in the desert. As Drew alluded to 110 degrees, and they can close that roof up. They've got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, but it's dry heat.
Okay.
That's what they like to tell you anyway. Fastball outside to George Fabregas.
There's been nothing dry about the heat on Darryl Kile's fastball or his curveball so far tonight. 95 pitches, 52 for strikes.
I think people now are going to believe Darryl Kile when he says, look, forget about spring training. One start does not a season make, but what a good start for Darryl Kile and the Rockies.
Well, I liked his attitude, because he said it starts opening night. This is where we need to start our march, and even though he's fallen behind here with 2 outs on George Fabregas, I like his attitude, just because you can tell by the look in his eye as it got closer to opening day. You could see the concentration and the attitude of, I want to win this opening start to show people.
He walks Fabregas on 4 pitches. Frank Funk looking about as relaxed as a pitching coach can look.
It's a pretty nice night when you're leading 8-1. Don Baylor's up on the steps.
We're taking a close look now. As we showed you, he's nearing 100 pitches, now 98 for Kile.
But it's a great night to pitch. Temperature-wise, it's not too hot, probably about now in the high 50s.
You know he wants to get through the 7th at least.
Oh, he'd love to.
That is his modus operandi. Last year in 31 of 34 starts to the 7th inning or beyond. That's remarkable. 1-0 now to Edwin Diaz. Don't forget Kyle's next start against the Houston Astros at the Astrodome on Sunday. We'll broadcast that one for you on Denver's WB2. Pop foul and out of play. 1-1 to Diaz, who is 0 for 2. He's popped out twice. Tony Batista Was supposed to be the starting second baseman, but at the last second, Buck Showalter changed his mind and went with Diaz. Fastball for a strike, and it's 1-2. Well, the MetLife blimp getting a bird's eye view, looking through the hole in Bank One ballpark. Snoopy 2 hanging overhead. Curveball, beat foul, and it's still 1-2. If the pitcher's spot gets up here in the 7th inning, Chris Jones would hit for the pitcher. He is on deck right now, but there are 2 outs. High fly ball, shallow left field. Dante Bichette coming in, and he's got it. That'll do it. 2-out walk, meaningless. Darryl Kyle through 7. Solid. 8-1 in favor of the Rockies.
Talk to the ASC certified parts pros at Checker. We'll get you what you need at the low price guarantee, like 76 products NASCAR High Performance Motor Oil, the official oil of NASCAR. Checker.
Let's work together.
Even though Dodge Ram is the bright red gold standard of pickup trucks, we're always improving things. We've made our available Magnum V8s even more powerful. We've improved the already world-class interior. In all, we've made 130 improvements to the Ram lineup since introduction, including this one, our new flow-through ventilation system. New Ram Quad Cab. The rules have changed.
I've been vending Coors Light for a long time. It's who I am. At home, it's, hey, beer man, pass the peas. When the mail comes, it says, hey, beer man, you may have won $10 million. Being the beer man's a wonderful thing. People know Frost Brewed Refreshment. They're always happy to see me, and I'm recognized wherever I go.
Hey, beer man.
Hey, bobbinhead doll man. Coors Light! Coors Light!
The Rockies dominating this game now as we move forward to the 8th inning. The Rockies 8, the Diamondbacks 1. Our division standings brought to you by your Jeep Eagle dealers. Last year, as you remember, the Giants won the division with 90 wins. The Dodgers finishing second. The Rockies for the second year in a row finishing in 3rd place. And San Diego went from first to worst in the Western Division. Darryl Kyle, he might be done for the day. Came in after 7 innings and got the congratulations of his manager, his pitching coach, and his teammates.
That's a good sign that it's a good day's work. Leave the ball game after giving up just 4 hits and 1 run. Threw strikes throughout the ball game, gave his ball club a chance, and that's what you're going to get, I think, from Darryl Kyle for the majority of the year. He'll keep you in the ball game.
He's officially done now as Vanderwall will bat for Darryl Kyle to lead off the 8th inning. So Darryl Kyle, 4 hits surrendered, that's it, in 7 innings, giving up the 1 run, the home run from Travis Lee. Again, that 4th inning when Jay Bell led off with a walk. Travis Lee hits the single to advance Bell to 3rd, nobody out, and the Rockies get out of that without a run. Darryl Kyle, outstanding in his Rockies debut. 2 balls and a strike to Vanderwall. Scott Brow is the new pitcher for the Diamondbacks, replacing Clint Sadowski. Brow, a non-roster invitee to spring training. Last time he was in the big leagues was with Toronto in '96. Again, this relief pitching for the Diamondbacks is where you'll really notice that they're an expansion team. The lead walk to Vanderwall. Mike Lansing, the batter. Lansing will be followed by Curtis Goodwin, who came in to pinch run for Burks in the 7th. Lansing looks at a fastball high, ball 1.
One thing that had kept Brow out of the big leagues sooner in his career is throwing strikes.
Late swing from Lansing. He fouls it off on the right field side. It's 1-1.
But he does throw the ball hard. He rose to the big leagues in a hurry. Signed in 90, was in A-ball. 91 and 2 in A-ball. 93, he makes a big league run at it for 6 ball games with Toronto. Took a while to get back.
Lansing 2 for 4 in his Rockies debut. A run scored.
Would you agree, Dave, that this is an opportunity for a lot of these young pitchers with the Diamondbacks to prove to Buck Showalter early, and they're all going to get their chance?
Possible double play, but no. Vanderwall got there to break it up, and no throw from Diaz.
That they'll get their chance to prove they can do the job.
No, absolutely. There's no question about that. They'll get a lot of opportunities, as you mentioned. Fox Sports News following our game. Right here on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain. Fox Sports News will follow each of our Rockies games all season long on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain. Chance for you to get caught up on not only what's going on here, but throughout opening day in baseball. Chance for you to see Mark McGwire hit his grand slam for the St. Louis Cardinals as they beat the Dodgers 6-0 today. Chance for you to see Pokey Reese and his 4 errors for the Cincinnati Reds in a 10-2 whitewashing by San Diego. Kevin Brown getting the start for the Padres today, and he was impressive. But Pokey Reese, who replaced Barry Larkin, Reese really a pretty good defensive player, but he didn't show it today.
Not today. Hey, not only were the errors in the field as far as fielding the ball, but also his throws to first base. Committed 4 errors.
Goodwin looks at a pitch outside. It's 1-2.
Brow looks like he throws the ball pretty hard, Dave. He's just having a tough time locating the ball.
Speaking of Cincinnati, like we were with Pokey Reese, that's where Goodwin came from. Outside, he was acquired by the Rockies in a trade for Mark Hutton, who was ineffective in relief last year for Colorado. Slapped on the ground to Bell. Handles a pretty tough hop. No chance to get this speedy Goodwin on the double play. So Goodwin beats it out. He is at first base with 2 outs, and that'll allow Larry Walker to get to the plate.
You see now why Buck Showalter kept Diaz the second baseman. Ground ball to Bell, the quick flip over to Diaz. He gets rid of this ball in a hurry, but a nice job by Lansing for getting there and breaking up the double play as Goodwin's speed prevails, and he's safe at first to keep the inning alive.
Walker singled home a run his last time up. Walker in the 6th inning hit a fly ball that looked like it might reach the swimming pool, but it died in vain on the warning track in deep right center field. Up high, 2-0. Hitters count 2-0. And Walker was swinging for that swimming pool. And that's one of the cold zones for Larry Walker, a new feature that we'll have for you on the Fox Sports Rocky Mountain games this year. From Inside Edge, we're going to give you an idea of the hot and cold zones for Larry Walker. And that one low and away.
The cold zone is that middle half in or down and low and in. Larry doesn't like the ball there as much as he does up and away from him or down low. The red area being, of course, the hot area where he can hit the baseball best. Back inside, he can't. That pitch away, but far enough away that he couldn't handle it. And I think that they'll start coming back inside more because these reports from the inside edge, don't think Larry Walker doesn't look at this.
Oh, absolutely.
And he'll realize, hey, I hit 208 on pitches down and in or at thigh level and in 160. I'm going to start looking in and protect that outside half.
Outside, ball 4. So Larry Walker with a 2-out walk. Second walk issued by Brow. And then it'll get Dante Bichette to the plate with 2 on and 2 out. Bichette 3 for 4 tonight. One gift single in the 6th inning that should have been called an error to Williams, but the other 2 legit. Bichette in his last at bat on a hit and run and an 0-2 count with Walker moving from first, just punched it through a hole that Diaz made when he went over to cover second base. You get the impression that Bichette's looking to put the exclamation point on this one.
Well, I think he realizes last week 8 home runs in 9 ball games that he'd like to hit the ball out of the ballpark to join Vinny.
Broken bat into center field. That's going to fall in front of White. Goodwin will score. Walker will take third. An RBI for Dante Bichette, and it's 9-1.
Knowing he's added the muscle and a nice relaxed stance, more upright this year, and even though this ball jams him, Dave, he's strong enough to muscle that ball out over shortstop. A lot of players can't do that as Goodwin comes around to score on the base hit.
Goodwin has 2 runs scored. He kind of likes this lineup, doesn't he? Vinny Castilla, what's he done for the Rockies lately? Well, try 2 home runs in the opener on for size. A 2-run shot with Bichette aboard, and then a 3-run homer his last time up to straightaway center field. It's this one down the line and right. Everyone giving chase, and that one will find the seats on a play. The Rockies with another run here in the 8th inning. They blew the game open in the 7th with a 5-run 7th inning. The Rockies 9 runs, 13 hits. The Diamondbacks checked by Darryl Kyle, 1 run, 4 hits. Walker at third and Bichette at first. And Vinny had a good swing at a fastball. Well, there's no doubt if Vinny Castilla stays in the number 5 spot in the Rockies order, his RBI total will go up. He had 113 runs batted in each of the last 2 years from the number 6 spot with 40 home runs in each of those 2 years. If he hits 40 home runs in the number 5 spot in the order, he'll have something like 140 runs batted in.
And to think of who he has in front of him, guys that can get on base. You've got Lansing, Burks, and then you've got Walker and Bichette, guys that are going to be on base. A lot of runs knocked in.
No question about it. 2-2 pitch is waved at and missed. That'll do it for the Rockies, but they add another. Vinny Castilla retired for only the 2nd time tonight. To the bottom of the 8th we go. The Rockies leading by 8.
In Kampala, Uganda, authorities are searching for a man who's been tranquilizing gorillas and dressing them in clown outfits.
Now's the time to roll into Sears because you can save $20 to $60 on a set of 4 select Michelin, Bridgestone, Trailhandler, or Viper tires. So get in, get tires, and get rolling. Sears Auto Center.
The Rockies face the Diamondbacks Thursday at 6:30 on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain.
East Asia's in financial crisis. But let's not forget, no group of countries has ever reduced poverty so much, so fast in human history. Living standards quadrupled in a generation. We must help protect the success story and its virtues: engagement in the world, hard work, and high savings rate. We know what went wrong. Too many cases of weak banks, flawed policies, poor regulation, and lack of openness. These mistakes must be corrected, and the investment in people must be saved. That means building on the gains in education and health care. Not just for the 350 million still living in deep poverty, but for all those who now risk slipping back. Let's fight this together. The World Bank, knowledge and resources for change.
Fox Sports News, prime time. Weeknights at 10.
Welcome back to Rockies baseball on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain, your regional home of Fox Sports Net. With Drew Goodman and George Frazier, I'm Dave Armstrong at Bank One Ballpark. Upcoming here on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain and Denver's WB2. Again, we'll be on Thursday night after tomorrow will give way to the Red Wings and the Avalanche. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on Denver's WB2 with the Houston Astros. Darryl Kyle will pitch on Sunday. And then the home opener on Tuesday, again on Denver's WB2 against the St. Louis Cardinals. Mark McGwire coming to town with the Cards. That's the upcoming TV schedule here on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain. Again, 125 games in all this season. Curtis Leskanic comes in relief of Darryl Kyle, who went 7 strong innings. The first man he'll face is Chris Jones, the pinch hitter, in the pitcher's spot. Fastball up high, ball 1. Jason Bates taking over from Mike Lansing at second base defensively. Lansing, again, you'll remember, has been bothered by a sore back all spring, and why take a chance with a 9-1 lead? Swing and a miss, 1-1 to Jones. Slider waved at and fouled straight back, and it's 1-2 now to Chris Jones. Jones signing as a free agent last November. Spent last year with San Diego. This is his 6th club in 8 seasons in baseball, so he has been around. A few uniforms in the closet for Jones.
Increase your wardrobe for your kids.
One of those teams, the Colorado Rockies. He was with the Rockies in '93 and '94 briefly. Played 21 games for the Rockies in 1994 after playing in 86 games in '93. Don't miss the autograph days at Coors Field during the '98 opening homestand. April 8th, 9th, and 12th. Come early to the games. Get autographs from Rockies players. Tickets still available for all 3 games. Get your tickets at the Coors Field ticket office, any Rockies dugout store, King Soopers, or call 1-800-388-ROCK. Devon White, a tough debut. 0 for 3 so far. Leskanic coming in, throwing gas. I saw Leskanic earlier today, and I said, "You feel good, don't you?" He said, "Dave, I feel better than I have perhaps at any other time in my career." A couple of surgeries, but he said he is back to 100% and very excited about the year.
That's great news for the Rockies, bad news for all the opposition, because Leskanic can get his fastball into the high 90s. Very good slider.
On the ground, past Helton into right field. Walker will keep Devon White at first base for the lead single. Well, there aren't too many guys that would hold Devon White to a base hit on a ball hit right down the line.
Not very many guys carry the respect that Larry Walker does in right field in his arm, surgically repaired or not. This, a hanging slider from Leskanic right down the first base line. Gets by Helton, but Walker with his speed gets over and gets the ball, and as he does, Devon White knows better.
A couple of things worked in Walker's favor. One you mentioned, his reputation. The second being that the Rockies lead 9-1. No sense in Devon White taking any chances.
None whatsoever.
Jay Bell, the batter. Bell walked to lead off that 4th inning we've talked so much about, and was thrown out at the plate on a throw from Vinny Castilla on a ground ball off the bat of Matt Williams. 2-0 now to Jay Bell.
This has been the problem for Leskanic, and his career would fall behind in the count. Drives managers crazy.
Now it's 3-0.
With a 9-1 lead, the last person he wants to bring into the ball game is his closer, Jerry Dipoto. You'd like to see Leskanic go ahead and take this ball game and close it out, but you don't want him to throw a bunch of pitches either. Simply because you've got a game tomorrow, no off day in sight. So you try to limit his number of pitches in 2 innings to possibly 30, 35, so you can have him again.
You're right about no off day in sight. The Rockies open with 3 straight here in Arizona, then 4 straight against Houston, then coming back home for the homestand. They will take on St. Louis Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then Cincinnati Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, then the Dodgers. First off day for the Rockies, April 16th.
That is a long stretch of baseball. That's why we have 12 pitchers on the roster right now.
Swing and a miss. Leskanic comes back from a 3-0 count to strike out Jay Bell.
And this is what frustrates Don Baylor and Frank Funk, the pitching coaches, simply because he goes to 3-0, 2 great fastballs, then come back with a slider on a 3-2 count like that. Why did you do that 4 pitches earlier?
Funky now watching him go after Travis Lee. Well, it has been a disappointing night for the Diamondbacks in their debut, but this kid right here has been the bright spot. A couple of singles and a solo home run to account for the Diamondbacks' only run. Swing and a miss. Leskanic took something off that pitch, and it's 1-2.
That was the split finger that he had worked on in spring training, and he spreads his fingers outside the seams and tries to sink that ball away. 77-mile-an-hour split finger.
Got another one, and he struck him out. So Leskanic comes in and strikes out the side, getting Jay Bell and Travis Lee. Bang, bang. He shot him down. Through 8, the Rockies 9, the Diamondbacks 1.
Over the years, one brand has won more 4x4 awards than any other name in history. Once again, we've captured everyone's attention. Jeep Grand Cherokee 5.9 Limited, 4x4 of the year. Jeep, the most award-winning brand of 4x4s in all the world. Check one out at your Jeep and Eagle dealer.
A snowflake falls at the far end of history. And that snowflake, we'll call him Steve, winds up as part of a droplet of water. And one day, that droplet, Steve's droplet, could wind up in a brewery where a man you'll never meet discovers the perfect temperature to frost brewed beer. And like that, Steve is in a Coors Light can, and then a tray, and a cup. And now, he's here with you. So I ask you, gentle stranger, do not spill Steve. Coors Light!
I want boom, dot, boom, boom. Why do you want to look at my Discover card statement? It's mine. I live in New York City. Of course, I love the theater. Bring in the noise. You know, it's my favorite show. I go there as often as I can, trying to steal another step. And my kids want me to be more risky. Come to Garçon stuff is, you know, it's risky. I want a cashback bonus.
How many credit cards make a statement like that? It pays to Discover. Accepted where you see the Novus sign.
Colorado Rockies baseball on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain is brought to you by your Front Range Dodge dealers. Well, we go to the 9th inning. The Rockies comfortably ahead, 9-1. Todd Helton will lead off for Colorado. He drove home the Rockies' first run of 98 with an RBI double in the 2nd inning to score Vinny Castilla from first base. Russ Springer, the 4th pitcher used by the Diamondbacks tonight, starts off Helton with a strike, a fastball on the inside edge. Helton 2 doubles tonight. He's 2 for 3 with a walk. I think the thing that's most encouraging about Helton, besides the doubles, the confidence that he exudes in this opener. This rookie looks like a seasoned veteran.
Well, you don't expect out of him that time to get a fastball on the inner half. But I truly believe, Dave, playing major college football at Tennessee has helped him. Because as a college quarterback, you have to carry that type of arrogance that's just short of being cocky with you on a playing field. And I think he does a great job of that.
He might be, as he strikes out here, the best hitting sports writer in America. He is writing a column every week for the Rocky Mountain News. And we'll see this one from Snoopy, too.
Oh, and a nice view this is. A high fastball out over the plate. Helton tries to take that pitch, and from the swing and the reaction, he's trying to hit it out into the swimming pool. Snuck by.
Well, they're still waiting for the first ball into the pool. Thought Walker had one earlier. But the ball has stayed dry tonight.
I just want to see it go in the pool, watch everybody go swimming trying to get it.
They float.
Got to dive down if they're hit 400 feet up in the air and 400 feet out there. Trust me, it goes in the water. We'll see some people diving.
Leafy Perez 0 for 3 with a walk. And he is ahead here 3-0. Takes all the way. The Rockies will begin the 98 campaign 1-0. It's the third year in a row the Rockies have begun the season on the road. Played the Phillies, won that game a couple of years ago, and then last year were clobbered by Cincinnati at Synergy Field. This game seems to have more synergy for the Rockies. Lifted in the air to center field. Kareem Garcia has moved over to center field from right. Jones stayed in the game and is in left field, and Brady moved over to right. Now there's still Coors Field party facilities available for 98 Rockies season. Great for groups 22 to 250 for a special occasion or client entertainment. Call now for availability. You see the number on your screen. 2 out, nobody on in the 9th inning for the Rockies. Kurt Manwaring the batter. Starting catcher tonight, despite the fact that Jeff Reed had tremendous lifetime numbers against Andy Bennis. Ron Baylor said, nope, Manwaring's our #1 catcher, and we know why he is in there, not for his offense, but because of the way he handles the pitching staff. Now, especially with a guy like Darryl Kyle with that great curveball, Manwaring blocks pitches perhaps as well as anybody in the game.
Very good defensive player, and he used that a couple of times early in the ball game where he blocked that curveball and held the runners.
Fastball just missed. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Diaz. Springer gets the Rockies 1, 2, 3 in the 9th. Well, Matt Williams will lead off for the Diamondbacks in the 9th inning with the Rockies ahead by 8.
Hey, what are you looking at? With one easy call, you could be looking at PrimeStar. Heads up! Now, for a limited time, you can have PrimeStar installed with a month of free programming for just $99. PrimeStar offers up to 160 channels, including your home team sports. Get your man, get your man, get your man! PrimeStar is rated #1 in customer voice satisfaction by J.D. Power. So call 1-800-PRIME-STAR and get all the body checking, slam dunking, quarterback sacking, back cracking action you can handle.
Now you're looking at Prime Star.
Now's the time to roll into Sears during our spring tire and wheel sale, because you can save $20 to $60 on a set of 4 select Michelin, Bridgestone, Trailhandler, or Viper tires. Plus, save an extra 10% off sale prices on all Z Racing custom wheels when you buy tires, too. This sale ends soon, and the clock is ticking. So get in, get tires, and get rolling. Sears Auto Center.
When things go wrong, and they sometimes will, and the road to traveling is all uphill, let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Because Checker understands every car, truck, wagon, or van.
Talk to the ASC certified parts pros at Checker. We'll get you what you need at the low price guarantee, like 76 products NASCAR High Performance Motor Oil, the official oil of NASCAR. Checker.
Let's work together.
Coming up after our game, don't forget to stay tuned for Fox Sports News. We'll get you caught up on baseball's opening day. Also, we'll take one final look back at Kentucky's come-from-behind win over Utah in the NCAA tournament, and some highlights from the NBA featuring the Jazz and the Sonics. Well, that's coming up right after the game. Well, Jerry Dipoto has come on to close this game out for the Rockies. He'll face Williams, Brady, and Garcia. A 9-1 lead for the Rockies. This, I should point out, George, is not a save situation.
No, it is not a save situation. And Don Baylor, hoping that Dipoto could come out, throw strikes, get out of this inning 1-2-3, which he typically does throw strikes.
I think this just gets your feet wet, 98.
Well, you still have a decent crowd here. A lot of the ballpark is emptying out because of the score, but this shows a little bit of confidence. Is this how it's going to work, fellas? Well, Scannick, you got 7th and 8th. Jerry, you have the 9th until you falter. If we have to flip-flop, we will, but you deserve this based on what you accomplished last year, getting 14 out of 16 saves.
You might scratch your head and say, why in a 9-1 ball game would you bring your closer in? But first game of the year, not like he's overworked or anything. And again, just to get your feet wet, get your feet under you in a very comfortable situation. So now the next time he goes in, it won't be like, oh, I'm making my 98 debut. He's already been in there under fire. Hit on the ground to Vinny. And he goes down on a knee to scoop it up, and what do you know, a perfect throw to first base. Yeah, great night for Vinny Castilla. 2 home runs tonight. A couple of fine defensive plays. 3 for 5 overall with 3 runs scored and 5 runs batted in. He is our unofficial player of the game. I guess you would have to go player of the game, and then player of the game 1A would be Darryl Kyle.
I think, why don't we give it to the team?
Great.
Everybody played well, and it's been absolutely outstanding. I know the first night on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain, I've enjoyed it. Crew in the truck has scrambled and done a great job.
About an hour and a half pregame show tonight. It almost feels like we've done a doubleheader. Brent Brady singled in his first at bat and hit into that inning-ending double play in the 4th inning. And that's when the Diamondbacks had a real chance to get back in the game with the Rockies leading 1-0. They did not score, and then the Rockies poured it on. 2 runs in the 6th for the Rockies, and then 5 in the 7th to blow it wide open. The Rockies have outslugged the Diamondbacks 13-5. On the ground, Helton will pick it up in foul territory. Well, we talked about that double play by off the bat of Brady in the 4th inning. It's our Coors play of the game.
This came after a play at the plate with men in position, but this a ground ball back up the middle. Perez takes it himself, steps on the bag, flips it over, and I think that was probably the turning point of the ball game, because the Rockies came in and scored a couple of runs right after that and put a 5 spot in the 7th to put this ball game away. Won't be the last time you see Perez make a good play back up the middle.
Well, that one's about as easy as they come. That's what you call a Sunday hop.
Well, the great thing about Perez, and everyone knows this that has watched him, he can make the easy play, but he can make the difficult play. There's a lot of guys in the big leagues that can't make that difficult play, or they can and can't make the easy play.
Yeah, you're right. Down goes Brady. 2 gone in the 9th inning. So DePoto